Welcome to the Gokunar streaming experience. Who would have guessed, but iDubbbz has released a follow-up to his little content cob. I have not seen it. We are going to go in blind. I am going to do a little bit of preamble and chill out a little bit before we jump straight into it. But first of all, you're a VOD watcher. Why are you watching the VOD? It's okay. I mean, there's a cost to pay, but you'll, with glee, I hope, accept that cost. Have you been taking your vitamins? Have you been taking your daily dose of Goku merch ads? Well, if not, boom. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Goku! What's up, non-Andres? What's good? I am uncertain how this is going to go down. I'm uncertain how this is going to be received. I am a little bit interested to see how iDubbbz navigates this. Every day that goes by with this damn drama, man, I realize that this is the worst YouTube drama that I have ever witnessed, and that is saying, believe it or not, a lot. I've seen some damn atrocity exhibitions, my friend. I've been witness to, I believe it or not, over a decade of these fucking kerfuffles, and this is the highest scale, least, I guess you could say, in some ways, rationally grounded, and most divisive team sports with bad faith actors drama I've held witness to. But enough complaining. I just, at this point, have to either shut the fuck up or own that I'm navigating on my own frequency. And just say what the fuck I'm thinking, more or less. More or less. So, that's what we are going to be witnessing from myself, hopefully, tonight. Okay. Alright. With that out of the way, we got 21 people in here. Does this mean 2 shoes? What's up? No. I already ate 2 shoes. I saw someone fucking comment that. Okay, easy peasy. Mr. Lemon Squeezy, easy peasy. Maybe we'll open up with this. Actually, this is a good way to open this up. Where's Mr. Easy Peasy? Here. Boom. Pow. The sound of my heart, the beat goes on. Alright. This guy, this fucker. I had no issues with this guy, but I am going to tell him, I ate 2. I ate 2 in advance. In the video. As insurance. Okay, and here is the, for those who don't know, I am biased against iDubbbz, okay? I am biased against this man. Because thanks to him, I was made to eat a shoe. And there are other reasons why I am not happy with his, targeting Ethan Klein, but at this point, it's something. Not only have I swallowed the pill, but I have swallowed 2 shoes. So I'll let you watch that real quick. People who don't know what the fuck they're talking about are claiming that iDubbbz is going to be making a content cop on Ethan Klein. Delusional. Not happening. If that happens, I will eat a shoe.
YouTuber named Gokunaru promised to eat a shoe.
Gokunaru, he said, I'll literally eat a shoe.
Gokunaru saying, I'm gonna eat my own shoe.
I've made a continual lapse in my judgment. A fucking flip-flop LGBTQ sneaker. Warning, this product may contain chemicals known to cause cancer. That's real leather, bro. Yum. Cheers. Fuck. Chad, am I cooked? Ethan's talking about me. What's good, bro? Fuck. Oh. That might not be edible.
Can't wait.
Oh, bruh. Is this what dogs feel like? Am I a dog? I might be a dog, but I'm not a little bitch. Cheers. Fuck. Bruh. The glue, dude. Is this pre-recorded? Hey, yo, starry eyes. Shit. My bad. I didn't mean to spit in your face like that, bro. That was an accident. I misclicked. Alright, chat. So, that's, the cost, the price that, iDubbbz made me pay. Okay? It wasn't a manifestation of my own decisions and actions, alright? iDubbbz physically forced me to eat that. But yeah, welcome to the damn chat. What's good? What are you guys thinking? I like the stream. Thanks, man. So, Shoe Eater is now a slur for Canadians. Okay, well, alright. Ethan still has his sticking to the dock problem that you pointed out years ago. Yeah. This man walked so the drama could run. Yeah. Oof. Bro thinks he's shoe nice? Bro. I'm basically a second incarnation. I'm your biggest simp, Goka. Well, make sure you're in the Gokanaru Discord then, Mr. Freaking Planet Sheen fan. Anyway, what's good? Rate the taste of the shoe, 1 to 10. I'd give it a 3 out of 10. There's like a little bit of saltiness from it hitting the pavement, probably over the course of, I don't know, multiple hours. But the taste of chemicals, the awareness that it's going to basically chemically castrate me in the future, that definitely lowers the score. Alcohol withdrawal is proof you should never stop drinking. Thank you, Real Gokanaru, for elucidating my internal monologue. Ate one shoe and suddenly became a martyr. Soft world. Are you gonna OD on drama? No. I'm gonna OD on fentanyl. Gokanaru will now eat a person. Okay. If iDubbbz makes a content cop on Anissa Joma, I will eat a human being. Some pirates would boil their shoes and eat the leather. That's fucking tragic. I hope that's not real. Evening. S tier opium addiction. Oh god. Uh-oh. Ruh-roh raggy. Big naturals. Oh no. Start the video, gang. I don't like H3, but he dragged Sam Cedar and Hassan in the same week. Pretty badass. Look. We can get into that. But, I don't think that... Look, here's the sad reality, okay? I think a lot of people have a very vested interest in exaggerating dramatically the performance of Ethan Klein in that debate, both against Hassan and against Sam Cedar. Obviously, I will not claim that Ethan, completely failed in every aspect of what he was aiming to do, okay? But he definitely was confronted and was forced to face a lot of contradictions, not just in his own content nuke, but in a lot of his ideologies. And, again, I'm not claiming he took no W's or that Hassan performed perfectly. I am not claiming that at all. But, dude, it was pretty one-sided, okay? And there's a lot that goes into me saying that. The thing that I think annoyed me the most, which I probably could have expected, it's actually two things, but it's that basically Ethan was effectively completely playing into his base, okay? In the sense that Ethan, with that conversation, Ethan did not convert anybody who was already kind of on Hassan's side. He was effectively playing entirely into his base, the people who were already backing him, and just trying to further reinforce their support. And then when it comes to the actual focused things that Ethan chose to focus on, yeah, I mean, look, let's be frank. Anybody with working eyes and ears and an honest, I think, interpretation would agree that okay, so right at the start, it seemed like Hassan was a little bit shaky, okay? Ethan seemed pretty confident, whatever. But, dude, there was, I believe it was the sword segment, but then even leading into some other, the guy who confronted Ethan, and he was, I didn't even understand what Ethan was really trying to do. Ethan kept trying to get gotchas out of Hassan that were so unproductive and so, in my opinion, just not interesting, right? Things that it is just not something, obviously, Ethan kept presenting things that I knew Hassan would not cave to, right? And it was also, there's so many guilty by association attempts, right? That it was kind of hard for me to it was kind of hard for me to not be annoyed with the path that Ethan took, right? It felt in a way cowardly. Thankfully, in time, they got to some of the more, I guess you could say, grounded or actually political, at least involving the geopolitics of the Israel-Palestine crisis, involving the realities there. But yeah, man, I mean, let's put it like this. If these are the thought leaders of our time, yes, we are fucking not looking so hot. I don't know. Again, look, there's like, okay, so there's people again saying Ethan won, which is just a very, I would really be curious why they think that, okay? I would really be curious because that might betray just that might betray an unawareness, right? It would be one thing to say like Hassan did not defend himself as best he could, or that Hassan did not represent his positions in the best possible way, or whatever the fuck, or that he did fuck up certain aspects. There is truth to this, yes, but to imply that Ethan performed better, I am not in any way really convinced. And again, to bring it back though, Ethan, I do think it is a situation, unfortunately, where this fucking guy, he was very much hyperfixating on, I think that what you could argue Ethan succeeded at is that he succeeded at kind of dragging Hassan down into the mud, okay? He succeeded at basically kind of like forcing Hassan to face certain things that he has been avoiding, right? Hassan's response to most of them was basically just like, yeah, miss me with that shit. You're like, you don't have me dead to rights. And that's, in a lot of those cases, it's kind of true. There were points where Hassan was explaining himself, and he wasn't explaining himself that well, but the explanation he provides, Ethan doesn't really grapple with in any meaningful way. Like, there's a famous clip, I believe, where Hassan does get pissed off and he does get flustered, okay, when they are discussing the exodus of Middle Eastern Jews following the Nakba, the decades following the Nakba. Again, to reiterate, that is an incorrect comparison that Ethan Klein makes, okay? The way that he does it in his content nuke is incorrect. There is a lot about the way that he presents that segment of his video that is extremely loaded, and that Hassan is right to call out, but Hassan obviously does not have nearly as nuanced of a perspective of that exodus that occurs over those following decades as he should, okay? There were certain aspects that he did fumble in that conversation, and Hassan did get flustered and got pissed off, and he basically, everyone, I believe, they captured the clip where Hassan baby raged a little bit. He basically just got pissed off, I should say. He got pissed off, and he basically said, you know, Ethan, you are racist, okay? I understand why he said that, for the record, okay? Because there is absolutely an implication that Ethan... because Ethan fails basically to acknowledge any, or at least he says, I should say, in this case, he acknowledges minuscule, which is extremely dubious, but in the original Content Nuke video, he fails to acknowledge any role that the Israeli elite, the Israeli regime of the time, played in the trickle effect that led to the exodus of Jews in the surrounding regions. Of course, this is not justified in any fucking way. Of course, this is a horrible fucking event that happened over the course of the following decades, the exodus of Jews. And again, Ethan presents it as though 1 million Jews traveled to Israel during the Nakba, which is incorrect framing completely. But many Jews did travel. Okay, I believe it was what was it, like 700,000 or so. Over the following decades, did travel to Israel from these surrounding regions, and about, give or take, 200,000-300,000 or so traveled to America, Canada, and France. All right, this is a true narrative, and of course, in a lot of cases, the reason for their traveling, Hassan does kind of downplay it a little bit. This is true, okay, but the reason for their traveling away from their home countries, like the big one that they emphasized was the Iraq situation, okay, because that's Ari Shleim, his origins, right? That was kind of the crux of the debate. And here's what you need to understand. It is absolutely, again, very fucking tragic, because this is a community of Jews that had existed there for over, I believe, 2,000 years. This is one of the oldest diaspora of Jews that existed on Earth, right? And there was a lot of growing anti-Semitism, and a lot of it was a reaction to what was happening in Palestine, okay? This is just the reality. It is not in any way justified, of course, But the implication of Hassan, that I don't remember exactly what he says, but there is an impression I got that he was kind of downplaying the push factors toward Israel. The reality is, in the vast majority of cases, okay, people will not uproot their lives. They will not fucking pack up and leave completely, abandon their homeland, unless they do not foresee a viable future or a prosperous future there, okay? Unless they do not feel like their future is not secured and safe, right? So there, again, are push and pull variables, okay? That is just true. It is not nearly as binary as both of them kind of present it. Even Ethan presents it very binarily, because he does not in a meaningful way acknowledge, he says minuscule, he does not in a meaningful way acknowledge the role that the Nakba, the action taken by what would become the Israeli elite, the Irgun committing massacres in Deir Yassin, he does not acknowledge that those events, the seizing of land from peaceful villages, causing over 700,000 Palestinians to fucking flee, all right? The Nakba, the origin point of the Palestinian refugee crisis, he does not acknowledge the ripple effect and the responsibility that falls upon what would become the Israeli elite in stoking this sentiment throughout the region, which of course is not justified in any way in projecting onto unrelated Jews, okay? And again, there absolutely is a role that the coordinators of the Zionist project play in destabilizing the surrounding areas for Jews. There is the 1 million plan, where they acknowledge more or less that they need to basically solicit or to prepare basically Jews in the surrounding regions for immigration, such that, you know, they can effectively ensure the safety of them and the state of Israel that they are trying to reinforce and basically create, right? It is necessary to their project. This will be elucidated in a more coherent and more, heavily sourced way in the future, but just so that, you understand why I don't take, you could say, an overt fucking side in this. All right, I am, again, just trying to genuinely form my own damn opinion when I'm appraising this whole circumstance, which unfortunately is a fucking punishing task at the moment, okay? It's not, it's really not something that is reaping much reward for me. I am, in a lot of ways, just people really want this to be a team sports binary, okay? People really want this to be, I'm on this guy's side and that guy's side. Look, I'm just trying to form my own damn opinion, all right? And while there are certainly things and aspects of this fucking situation where I side more with one side than another, okay? It all depends on the topic we're discussing. I do want to try my best to preserve, the fucking details that I would imagine matter most, which are the things about Israel-Palestine, okay? Again, you can feel free to disagree or call me out or to correct me or whatever, but, again, I'll be elucidating my observations and whatever, probably in a more, sourced and coherent format in the future. This is a live stream. I'm just kind of yapping, but yeah, I was emphasizing that basically to show, like, Hassan did get pissed off and he did call Ethan racist, okay? And he called Ethan racist, and a lot of people basically clip that and they use that to say Ethan won the debate. I mean, you could say it's weak sauce, sure, you can interpret that however you want, but at the end of the day, you need to understand that the entire debate, throughout the entirety of the debate, Ethan was trying to pin Hassan as racist as well. Like, so much of the damn debate was basically taking periphery examples or people, like, again, in iDubbbz video, the sword, or what was it, in Frogan, her tier list, the thumbnail. It was the thumbnail that was specifically the topic of conversation. And then there was that random Sneeko fan that I didn't even fully understand what H3 was trying to say, really, in relation to how that affects Hassan, just that he ended up being in periphery to Hassan. It was a very stupid point, in my opinion. I didn't fully understand what he was trying to articulate there at all. But basically, yeah, like, so much of that was Ethan basically literally overtly stating in some cases, but also trying to label Hassan as racist. So, you can interpret it however you want, but I would be, if you are personally convinced that Ethan unanimously won that debate, I do think that there is a disconnect. There's something that you and I disagree on, or that you might not know that I know, or maybe that I don't know that you know, but who knows, right? I feel both Hassan and Ethan are unfit people for talking about the issue, especially with each other. Yeah, I mean, I think that Hassan is more fit than Ethan, but that, that might not be a glowing appraisal, really. Remember when the biggest internet drama was just a YouTuber is a groomer? Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember Content Nuke Keemstar. The amount of hatred that Ethan expressed toward Keemstar back in the day. This has certainly engulfed that. Ethan's brain melted, lol. Dude, look, here's the thing. Again, a lot of people don't really have as much context for this as I do, okay? A lot of people do not understand how many mistakes truly are in Ethan's Content Nuke that Hassan does touch on and dismantle, okay? And again, these mistakes, a lot of these mistakes are the reason, part of the foundation as to why I cannot back Ethan's video. A big part of why I could not back Ethan's video, okay, when I wanted to in a lot of ways, okay, I was not Team Hassan, bro, but a big part of it is, absolutely, undeniably, a big part of the goal of Ethan's video was to deplatform Hassan and to cause a Twitch adpocalypse, okay? This is something that, on a philosophic grounds, I am just not going to back. I'm not going to support. And again, a lot of the misinformation, he literally just presents easy fucking openings for Hassan to dismantle and to disagree with his entire video, to write off his criticism. The fuck do you want from me? Okay? I want bulletproof criticism, especially if we're going to be accusing people of fucking anti-Semitism, especially if we're going to be trying to get people fucking deplatformed. And yeah, I don't know. It is interesting. That's all I can really say. Both lost the debate. I mean, you could probably say that if you want, sure. Yeah. I mean, whatever. This is not a time for debates, but more discussions, more unity. Okay. I guess so. I mean, ideally, but look who we're dealing with, bro. You're not so bad, but your audience seems to lean Ethan. Well, what do you want me to do here's the thing. Here's what I'll tell you. I am in the commentary community. Right now, the commentary community, first of all, is absolutely and undeniably in an absolute hysteria, okay? And what do I mean by hysteria? I mean that they are not viewing things in a sober manner, okay? Whether it's team sports and they just want their side to win, or maybe they just fucking genuinely are buying into everything that is being said or whatever on the side that they side with. But the point is that I am currently fighting against a wave of people who do not want to engage with this shit in a truly critical manner. And so that's why I am not my audience. I am a very weird, unfortunately, I'm in some ways unfortunate. I'm a weird guy in this circumstance because I am not someone who gets one guide, really. I'm not somebody who necessarily has cared all that much what my chat personally thinks or what my comments think or whatever. I am going to try my best to just fucking say my opinion as I fucking believe it, okay? And I'm open to fucking disagreement. I'm open to, if I fuck something up, whatever. But, at a certain point, right? Am I just going to fucking capitulate to what the people who are in my ecosystem generally agree with, even if I disagree with it? No. I mean, it's either I guess I can shut the fuck up or I can just continue giving my damn take, which I think I'm actually pretty well grounded, personally, in what I am claiming to believe or to see, right? So, yeah. The commentary community has such a strong bias now, it's crazy? Yes. 100%. 100%. Undeniably so. There's an absolute hysteria present. This is true. Since Ian apologized for every content gob, does that apology retroactively apply to the new one? You could say that. Dude, just bring peace to the Middle East with all of this knowledge. Oh, God. Thanks, Yellow Turtle. Yeah, man. Sounds good, dude. How does it feel to be tied to a big ongoing drama with Ethan Klein again after all these years? Not good. Not good. And the thing that annoys me is there's some people who think I'm just biased against Ethan because I made a video about him fucking 6.5 years ago. Which is ironic because how many people in the commentary community have made a video against Hassan literally within this year? Almost every one of them? A lot of them, let's say. Does that instantly make you worthy of being written off as being biased against Hassan? Of course not. Of course not, because that's the prevailing sentiment right now in the commentary community is, you know, if you give, even in a lot of cases, if you give just good faith interpretation to Hassan in or whatever, point is, basically, that is not, in my opinion, reasonable grounds to write me off, okay? Just to say, oh, you're biased against Ethan because you made a video about him 6.5 fucking years ago. By the way, most of the people who are saying that about me clearly have not watched any of those videos. It's certainly not the last video that was made because it was pretty clear, like, I don't know, I did not hold animosity toward Ethan Klein. In fact, I was, like, Ethan Klein was referring to me, I guess, as his friend on his podcast. I was not in any way interested in, you know, decrying Ethan Klein or even really criticizing him on a deep level. I, in fact, issued warnings to Ethan Klein, which he, I believe, saw because he referenced me on his podcast. I could cite the example, but it's just, right now, it's a bit annoying to fucking try and sift through stuff to find it. But the point is, I was not biased against Ethan going into this, okay? I was issuing warnings like, be careful, you're navigating fucking murky waters talking about this and interpersonally, like linking with interpersonal beef. I watched the content nuke, and within, I believe, the first 20 minutes, he makes a very overt fuck up that throws me off. And it makes it very clear that, yes, he approached that video not with, in my opinion, a, you could say, a unbiased interpretation of things, okay? And to put it another way, he basically overtly inserts propaganda into this segment again, where he downplays the Nakba. He does do that. He compares it to the Nakba. He says more Jews are displaced. In 1948, we can play the exact clip, and I'll probably play it just so that people don't think I'm taking him out of context. Again, this will be elucidated in a more coherent format, but just so that you guys understand where I'm coming from a little bit, okay? One moment, please.
What was that?
Oh, and here's another thing that pissed me off. Oh my goodness, yes. So on top of the platform campaign, on top of Adpocalypse campaign, on top of messing up certain historical narratives and citations, well, yeah, Ethan overtly conflates anti-Zionism with anti-Semitism when he's talking about this Twitch employee, okay? He's talking about this Twitch employee who was fired from her prior job for expressing anti-Zionist sentiments, okay? She basically was calling out the Israeli regime and their treatment of Palestinians, saying that it was morally unconscionable, effectively. Ethan interprets her getting fired from that job as her not liking the Jews, okay? That's his claim in this video. And that was, in my opinion, when I saw that, again, this is something that, on levels, I agree with Sam Cedar's kind of comments where he's basically saying how dangerous it is to conflate the two because, yeah, currently a lot of right-wing figures are actively conflating on purpose the two, anti-Zionism and anti-Semitism. A lot of right-wingers are opportunistically clawing at the opportunity to mask themselves as just anti-Zionist while they are actually very overtly anti-Semitic, and they are proliferating their fucking ideologies en masse, okay, en masse. But yes, let's see what he says.
Anti-Semites on the internet seems to clearly be trying to send a message. And then it was discovered that Twitch's head of policy and community guidelines was previously fired from her job publicly by the British government. Why? She does not like the Jews. That's right. Their head of trust and safety was previously suspended from her job at Off-Right. Their head of...
So look, so literally suspends director for liking Instagram post accusing Israel of ethnic cleansing. She followed it up with a post that was very critical, of course, of the Israeli regime. But Ethan's appraisal of this as her not liking the Jews is a conflation. It's a conflation of anti-Zionism and anti-Semitism.
Head of Trust and Safety was previously suspended from her job at Ofcom for being too anti-Zionist.
He even says it out loud right there. That is, again, the reason that I say, okay, if you think that Ethan won that debate, or if you thought that the content nuke was, great, okay, if you thought that basically it was worth championing, I am simply just letting you know it's possible that you do not know or see what I see, right? Like, you just might not understand the minutia of why I interpreted it as I did, which, again, I'm not claiming it has 0 points of legitimacy, or that there is that it's like a shittily made video. Like, there's entertaining aspects to it, absolutely, but it's something I cannot fucking back, okay? And why can't I back it? Because it goes against my principles, and because I simply disagree with a lot of the criticism and sentiments, and just claims, basically. Here, one sec. I'll elucidate Ethan's mistake that really threw me off and really confused me and made me understand that Ethan, either knowingly or not knowingly, is effectively also acting as a propagandist, whether he knows it or not, more or less.
Really insane to think that Jews, as an ethnic minority in Israel, would not be safe. After all, Israel is a country of refugees. If the Jews didn't come from Europe after the Holocaust, they came from the surrounding Arab countries that expelled them in massive amounts following the 1948 war. In fact, there was more Jews displaced than Palestinians during the Nakba. 1 million Jews.
Okay, and so again, this is a incorrect comparison. The claim of over 700,000. Sorry, the claim of more Jews basically being displaced than Palestinians during the Nakba is literally just wrong. This hits people's ears very strangely if they have any awareness of any of this. Obviously, Ethan doesn't even really unpack or explain what the Nakba is, which to obviously a lot of casual viewers, in one ear and out the other, more or less, he doesn't explain what the Nakba is. But yes, the Nakba was the displacement of over 700,000 Palestinians in 1948. This, again, is precipitated effectively by certain massacres that occur by pre-Israeli forces, most notably the Irgun. Okay, the Irgun commit massacres at Deir Yassin. There are other massacres that can be elucidated. Obviously, there's a lot of nuance to it, but the point remains, okay, that this was an atrocious event that within 1 year, this contained year, displaced over 700,000 Palestinians, all right? Ethan compares it, again, incorrectly, to the exodus of Jews throughout the Middle East and North Africa over the following decades, all right? Totally incorrect comparison. These are obviously very different countries with different sets of circumstances. I am not trying to downplay in any way. This was not justified in any way, this occurring, okay? But it is a completely incorrect comparison, okay? And so, yes, and again, in those decades, to be clear, in those decades that follow the Nakba, right, the inciting event here, those decades, a lot of the exodus of the Jews in the surrounding regions, okay, the spikes that you see in exits, they correlate to events in Israel-Palestine that further displace Palestinians, okay, adding up to over 1 million displacement of displaced Palestinians, okay? This whole segment is extremely loaded, man, and it betrays, again, it's a bias, you could say, but it's like it kind of exposes where H3 stands in a way, right? Like, again, I don't want to speak too much to intent right now, okay, but it rings to those who are awares in any kind of capacity, right? Like to those who, at least to those who understand what the Nakba is, right? Because that's already a prerequisite that is not present in the video, right? This is like something that hits a little bit odd, you know? But anyway, I wanted to unpack that because a lot of people have been confused why the fuck I'm not bandwagoning alongside Ethan, and they think it's just because I'm biased against him or because I made a damn video on him 6.5 fucking years ago. And to those people, all I can say is listen to what I am actually saying. Open your fucking ears, please. But anyway, Goka, I'm uninformed. Willie Mack says Zionism just means that literally. Oh, Jesus Christ. That Israel should exist? Is that true? Love ya and appreciate you diving into this. Okay, so here's the big thing that's difficult to navigate, and I'm again, look, I am not a fucking expert, okay? I'm not going to claim to be a damn expert, all right? But this is my interpretation. Feel free to look into whatever you want, of course. I want to emphasize, like, you know, I am a fucking drama YouTuber, okay? But when this is getting interwoven into drama, I'm going to try my best to form my opinion and communicate it to you, okay? People who, with total confidence, state this, it is a bit dubious, okay? That basically, thank you, by the way, Fergalicious, God bless, that Zionism just means that Israel should exist. This is loaded, okay? The term Zionism is, as you can probably imagine, the term Zionism is absolutely loaded, all right? It is absolutely loaded. There are people who interpret it simply as the right to a Jewish homeland. A big caveat that I would add there for Galicious is that most people, when they're saying Israel's right to exist, okay, the big thing that's kind of it's a subtlety, but it's important to emphasize is that Israel's right to exist as a Jewish ethnic majority. Okay, that is a big part of it because basically the big emphasis here is like, why doesn't Israel allow, there's many reasons, but why doesn't Israel allow or like offer to just absorb the Palestinian population that is sure in Gaza or even just in the West Bank? Okay, I mean, of course, there's many reasons for this, but a big one is that it is an emphasis of Israeli leaders over the course of many decades, since the inciting fucking incident, since the Nakba, since before the Nakba, since the UN partition plan was being developed. You have David Ben-Gurion, okay, one of the founding fathers of Israel, who was the first prime minister of Israel. Whilst the UN partition plan was being, litigated, you could say, he was fully, more or less, aware and acknowledging, I could probably find the damn quote, but it might take me a moment, but he was effectively acknowledging the need for forced displacement or forced removal or whatever you'd say, evicting of Palestinians in order to ensure a Jewish majority population, okay? This is why, okay, simply stating that if you are a Zionist, that means that you are just want Israel to exist. That is a little bit dubious because, again, the usual underlying messages want them to have the right to exist under an ethnic majority, okay? One moment, please. One sec. I'm just going to see if I can find this quote for you. Now, that's also, to be clear, that's also an interpretation of what it means to be a Zionist, okay? For a lot of people, okay? Not claiming Ethan Klein, because Ethan, I believe, he is a liberal, more of a liberal Zionist, or however you would designate him. He's even left of liberal Zionist in some ways, right? Like, he's acknowledging, from what I saw, I'm going to take him at face value, that he believes that a genocide is occurring in Israel, which that is a big, like, right? Like, when we swallow that and acknowledge that, that does reshape the way that we should be interpreting things, right? But a lot, especially right now, of Israeli leaders, okay? And I can go into this rant at a deeper level, but a lot of Israeli leaders, their version of Zionism is closer to what Hassan describes Zionism as: a settler, colonial, expansionist ideology precipitated on the mass displacement of the Palestinian people, okay? It's something akin to Manifest Destiny. For those who don't know, you could say infamous American president Andrew Jackson. I don't know if you know anything about the Trail of Tears, the belief basically that Americans, not the natives, are meant to spread themselves across the territory and to basically take the land and raise it as their own. This kind of, genocidal mentality, this is in ways comparable to certain ideologies that exist within the Israeli leadership, such as people like Ben Gvir, okay, Smotrich. These are certainly actually Netanyahu as well, although he is obviously more veiled, all right, though the masks have been consistently slipping. But yeah, sorry, let me see if I can find this quote real quick for you. One sec, sorry. Let me see. One sec. Okay. I think you can understand why this is, not a fun or like this is not something that I'm like happy that this is the drama that we're dealing with here, right? But if we're gonna talk about it, I'm gonna try my best to fucking speak my mind and express what I, know at least. Okay, let's see. Do I have the damn? Please tell me I have the link. Shit, man. Everything is fucked. Let me see. One sec. We are going to get into the content cop. I know. Just give me a moment, please. All right. Okay. I think this is it. Let me just see. Please tell me that I have the fucking... Fuck. Bruh. Maybe I'll have to find it another time. But long story short, Benny Morris, okay? Benny Morris identifies that Ben-Gurion was aware that forced displacement of Palestinian people would be required before the partition plan, okay? But yeah, the way that, okay, and the reason that, again, this is emphasized is because, unfortunately, there are many people in Israel, okay, and in Israeli positions of leadership who believe basically that Zionism, again, comparable to Manifest Destiny, is the fulfillment of the complete reclaiming of the state of Israel, or the land of Israel, okay, the land of Judea. I think they refer to it often. And this is completely and utterly precipitated upon the displacement, the massacring of, the elimination of the Palestinian people, okay? There are factions of settler leadership, okay, and members within the Knesset and members in positions of leadership in Israel who do believe that it is the rightful land of the Israelis, okay? The West Bank, that they want the West Bank annexed, all right, and basically taken ownership of by Israelis, and that Gaza, the Gazans need to, they want to carry out the fucking Trump ethnic cleansing plan effectively. And that is dark, man. That is dark, to be fucking frank with you. But yeah. It's tough because I have a lot of shit going on here. What was it? It was... Oh yeah, okay. Well, I can show you real quick. At least I can show you. Unfortunately, a lot of these clips are copyrighted, so I can't actually show you all that much, but I can show you some Knesset members expressing the more aggressive Zionist tendencies, you could say. Very symbolic vote to reject any international recognition of the Palestinian state. I'm personally proud of the ruins of Gaza. And then every baby, even 80 years from now, will tell their grandchildren what the Jews did. Meir Golan is Israel's Minister of Social Equality. It's pretty ironic. A Likud party member yelled the following at Palestinian Knesset member Ayman Odeh. You will die, your children will die, your grandchildren will die. There won't be a Palestinian state, there won't be. Minister Orit Struk denied that Palestinians even exist. There's no Palestinian people, there's no such people. Usually the claim there is that there's no such thing as Palestine, they are just Arabs, okay? These are isolated examples here, all right? But you also have figures like Ben Gvir, okay? Again, all of this, will be articulated in a more coherent fashion another time, but to give you the fucking rough, awareness, guys like this, Ben Gvir, who Ethan shows in his content nuke, Hassan calling inbred, okay? From what I'm aware, the reason or the logic that Hassan gives for calling them inbred is because they are settlers, right? They are proponents of settlements, right? Which is illegal under international law. And Hassan seems to view them as kind of analogous to Hicks, like radical Hicks, racist Hicks, whatever, who he believes that makes them worthy of being called inbred. There are cases of settlers basically derailing aid trucks that are on their way to Gaza, basically trying to prevent any kind of humanitarian aid from getting into Gaza. Those, I believe, are also cited as examples of Hassan calling Jewish people inbred, okay? And again, the defense on the Hassan side would be, yeah, they're settlers, all right, breaking international law, and they're trying to prevent aid from getting to Gaza. They don't deserve my charitability in any fucking format. It's not about them being Jewish, is his claim. It would just be about their actions, basically, as, settlers or whatever. So yes, this fucking Ben Gvir guy. This guy has gone on record, okay, when he's talking to settlers at settler rallies, he says that the best method of getting public support is to conflate Palestinian people with terrorists, that allows for a lot more room to dehumanize them or do whatever. And this fuck, he then would go to the United States and talk about and brag about the number of terrorists they have captured and the kind of torture, or the kind of, I shouldn't say torture, but the kind of let's say, inhumane treatment that they would receive in Israeli prisons, right? This is a guy who, in many cases of Israeli soldiers or police killing or, causing damage to Palestinians, this guy would overtly defend them and champion them effectively. There's also Smotrich, which is another very suspect individual. I believe there was a very recent clip of him overtly stating that they are going to be enacting the Trump ethnic cleansing campaign goals, all right? I'll see if I can find that clip, one sec. I'm sorry if this is boring to you. This is, this is more of a reflection of the reality of the Jewish leadership, unfortunately, at the moment. Just give me a sec here. Let me just see. Yeah, okay, so here. Israel's Minister of Finance, Bezalel Smotrich, the time has come to pounce on Gaza, occupy it, establish military government, take territory from them, implement Trump's plan to remove 1.5 to 2 million Gazans from Gaza. Here. I think that the time has come, and I said this to Prime Minister, and I'm saying it now, to pounce on Gaza, to occupy it, as the current Chief of Staff promised us when he took over his position. Without fear, yes, to occupy the Gaza Strip, to establish a military government, to take territory from them, to implement President Trump's plan, to remove 1.5 to 2 million Gazans from Gaza. There's a very in-depth discussion about it, and we need to invest in it and work on it. In order to find alternative countries for Gazans, there is no choice but to do it here and now. Does it include reserve? If you go into a huge, it's funny because the counter, it seems like by either a moderator or another person here, is basically asking, does this include basically making reservists, army reservists, fight, right? So the discussion is centered around basically, are you going to make people who already did their mandatory military service and who are just going about their lives? Or are you going to implicate them? Effectively, the big concern is, will Israelis, more Israelis be brought forth to do this? Okay. In my head, there's no world where this plan gets implemented and it's not unbelievably violent outcomes. But yeah, this is a world we live in where this is hosted on Israeli TV. This is an officially elected individual. I should say a person in a position of power. Okay, through a coalition government with Netanyahu's Likud party, right? But yeah, fucking tragic, man. Anyway, sorry. So with that context, we lost people when I started talking about the I guess realities, but whatever. Ben-Gvir has a portrait of a mass shooter in his living room. It's boring to people who are stupid to understand politics. Muslims have known this for the last 20 years, bro. This is nothing new. Yeah, okay, John Smith. I'm not interfacing with people who have awareness, bro. What do you want me to do? I'm explaining to you. Anyway. There you go. Fergalicious, thank you for the bones, bro. Oh, thank you? Oh, yeah, no worries, bro. Thank you for the fucking additional bones. I didn't notice, my bad. Thank you for the 350 New Zealand bones, my brother. Yeah. Much appreciated. If you guys want text-to-speech, this pinned Stream Elements link is the best way to do that. But yeah, no, that was a very legitimate and very good question, bro. Thank you. I am glad you asked it. This is why, okay, there is a difference between Hassan's definition and Ethan's. Because under Hassan's definition, right, it is viewing Zionism in, again, the way that a lot of even Israeli elite are viewing it as basically a manifest destiny, a destiny to clear the region of Palestinians and to claim it for the Jews. Okay, that's why it is, I should say the Israelis. Okay, but that is why it is, not as simple as believing in a right for Israelis to have, the Jewish homeland, effectively. There's not one definition, okay? When Willie said that in his video, I was like, bro, please tell me you know how fucking loaded that is. It is loaded. But, whatever. Great React video, bro. Totally unbiased. What do you mean? How have you been? Well, why am I biased? Explain it, please. I appreciate that you're trying your best to not make an ass of yourself and looking ignorant as you cover the issue, but in my honest opinion, we're here about the optics and rhetorics about iCucks. Thanks, Klein. Thanks, man. Yeah, you think that I'm doing this cynically, I think. You think that I'm just doing this to make it seem like I'm not ignorant. It's more about trying to explain, like trying to give you the lens of understanding as to, oh, fuck. Lamp cam. Dude, lamp cam moment. My God. I was lamp camming you guys, my bad. You guys need to call me out when I'm being a fucking dummy. Oh well, whatever. Let me take this shit down. Alright, let's watch iDubbbz video then, guys, okay? To be fair, John Smith is a fire name. Yeah. Yeah, you seem under the weather, Goka. Are you good? I'm pretty good. I'm actually pretty good. I'm sorry. When I'm talking about this kind of stuff, I'm not like jubilant. Does that make sense? I don't know. I think that makes sense. I'm studying the conflict for my exams. It's so difficult because what happened today makes it difficult to speak openly about it. What happened today? Yolene, what happened today? I think there's a bigger conversation to be had about Ethan suing random Redditors, and people should wait to judge if and when the lawsuits come out. Hey, Paul, that's something that I've also been talking about. Ethan has been suing random fucking Redditors. I have gone into much detail about this, but people who think and are hand-waving this away, there is something dubious there, okay? There is more to that than meets the eye, for damn sure. There's a lot to be critical of Ethan Klein right now. All right. Happy Sunday. Hey, thanks, Juan. What's good, bro? All right, boys. Thanks, Futuristic Handgun. All right. So, 2 things. Join the Discord. All right. Join the Discord to get notified when I'm live. And if you want to donate, the Stream Elements link is the best way because it'll basically notify me and it'll be text to speech. But any support's appreciated. God bless. Let's get into this damn content cop, my friends. Let's do it. Sorry, that was a little bit much. And do it. Let's do it. And do it. Okay, here we go.
Fully on my shoulders, but I can fight of.
Go. 1 sec.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Content Deputy. Now normally in a Content Deputy I would dance around in my cop outfit in the woods, but this video isn't going to have any of that fanfare. We're just going to get straight into it. I was hoping that if I made a video about Ethan, he would act like an adult and he would keep the attacks directed at me and Anissa. Unfortunately, I was wrong in thinking that because Ethan, in a desperate attempt to attack and smear Anissa and I, he started attacking our charity event.
I don't know if you know this, but last year they lost $250,000. To be charitable, you actually have to give money to charity, Hassan. You have to give money to be charity. It's like a slush fund for them.
Ethan and Hila are well aware that we raised $1.3 million for charity the first year of Creator Clash. The second year we operated at a loss, and I take full responsibility for that. We did band together. The community and the fighters involved ended up raising $175,000 for charity. It's been really...
Yeah, that's the thing that I remember I did see. There's I am watching this blind for the record. But yes, I do remember iDubbbz doing a charity stream after the fact. Although I'm not certain exactly what. Maybe there might be the case, but I'm not certain if any of the money they raised went back to reimbursing them. I believe he's claiming here that they just took that L like on the chin, like they just absorbed that damage, and then they did the charity stream basically to actually raise money. But yeah, iDubbbz is owning the L there, and I mean, yeah, that is a big L. But I remember he did that stream. Like people who claim that it was totally cynical, I know that they cite basically like it was just a creator influencer clout event that was like a bunch of dicks or whatever you would say, fucking orgy, like whatever. Basically they are under the impression that it was like they didn't the charity was an afterthought. They didn't care about the charity. That's how they fucked it up. And there's probably coherence to that. But yeah, iDubbbz is, I guess, taking the L on that, saying it was a fuck up, so basically making the case that yeah, we fucked up, but we tried sincerely to, rectify it best we could. And so let's see how this continues. That is, again, assuming that's the reality, that the money during that live stream was donated to charity. Okay, that is misinformation that Ethan's peddling, right? If he's claiming that no money was given to charity.
It's really disheartening to see how often Ethan will attack Creator Clash through us or attack us through Creator Clash.
I mean, the event is inextricably linked, at least up until now. I saw on Twitter, I believe that they're stepping away from it, but like it is linked to iDubbbz and Anissa. That's true.
Ian and Anissa.
It's blowback that iDubbbz should have expected. 100%, he should have expected it.
Masters of putting on an event.
He's reposting random troll accounts.
I see. Yeah, I saw this is a random troll account. This is definitely a troll account.
That are very easy to vet. If you
perhaps due to them finding out. Yeah. Right. Yeah. No, this is definitely not someone who. I don't believe this is someone who actually bought a ticket.
Click on this profile, it has a bunch of Sam Hyde adjacent posts, and it just hates Anissa and I. Come on, dude, you're one step away from calling me a cuck. Just take the plunge. He's highlighting this
oh man, the music, the clown music.
Post that equates Creator Clash to a crypto rug pull. He's saying the
What is it? Well, he's basically claiming it's a scam because it's not actually about charity, I'd bet. Harley dropped out 48 hours ago. Lena dropped out. Website is unchanged. No announcement on socials. Anissa is active on socials, talking about going on vacation. Ticket sales are still open with no announcement. Is Creator Clash just Anissa's version of a crypto rug pull? Right, so, yeah, I guess they're thinking that they're just going to take the money and run.
Poll. He's saying the event is going to be...
Anissa is a terrible person, a wretched friend, and an even worse event organizer. Creator Clash 3 about to make TanaCon look like the Golden Globes.
Worse than TanaCon? Can't wait for them to blame us for their failed event. Don't worry, Hila. I'm not going to blame you guys for anything.
Oh, yeah, that was a donation to Nick D. Nikki D.
For them to blame us for their failed event. Don't worry, Ela. I'm not going to blame you guys for anything Creator Clash related. I know you're terrified of taking accountability for anything, so that will rest solely on my shoulders. But I can't speak for the internet. The internet might actually blame you guys for it. Now, with this recent
Okay. Maybe. Whatever.
revelation that people
They'll probably sooner blame iDubbbz, but yeah.
are just going to use Creator Clash to attack Anissa and I. Anissa and I have decided to step away from Creator Clash. We have relinquished control to our...
What is that? Is that a WhatsApp fucking thing? Okay, so they relinquished control. That's probably the right move. You know, the argument is that they fucked it up last time and that they have now basically drenched it in the controversy of a content cop. Look, iDubbbz had to have foreseen this, okay? He did, in a lot of ways, jeopardize the event by doing that content cop, okay? But he's stepping away.
Business partners who ran the previous 2 events. They're very capable. They know exactly what they're doing. They run events on a regular basis. The event is still happening. Anissa and I just don't have any financial ties. We don't have any ownership. We are, you know, I think just going to be known as the founders of the event. Yeah, I mean, I think it had to come to this eventually.
Yeah.
I can't keep my mouth shut. I can't, I mean, I can. I just didn't want to.
Yeah, respect for owning that fact, man. Like, in a lot of ways, again, him making a content cop on Ethan Klein was not rational in the sense of the blowback he could have expected might have been worse than the, I guess, rewards he would reap. I didn't expect him to sever the alliance, you could say, with Ethan Klein in favor of completely committing to the Hassan Piker orbit. Obviously, Ethan Klein kind of severed the alliance himself, but yeah, I just didn't expect iDubbbz to effectively, you know, blow up the bridge. But yeah, he's owning it. He's like, yeah, I just didn't want to. I just wanted to fucking say my piece. You were trying to, you know, you're trying to attack me, and I want to show you I still got teeth, dog.
I want to be frank. I want to be honest.
I want to be frank, but I'm frank. You can't be frank.
I was very quiet during the second Creator Clash because I was afraid of how that would impact other people. This year I said I'm going to do something different. I'm going to fight back if someone's trying to attack me. So that's what I did. And now
I mean, views-wise, it certainly worked. He did not advertise Creator Clash in this. I wonder if he's going to address that. I was a bit surprised too, but maybe the argument was like he didn't want to associate the event. That probably would be the argument. He did not want to actively try to associate the event with the content cop, but that happened. And look, he should have expected it to happen. He probably did, but, you know, we'll see.
realized, like, I can't really have my cake and eat it too. It's
Yeah, definitely.
either you're going to talk shit like a foul beast on the internet, or you're going to have a charity event. You know, it really can't be both. I'm very
Right.
proud of the event that we made with Creator Clash. It's still happening, June 28th. I'm just not going to be involved in it. Please, for the love of God, support this event. You know, I feel like in some ways I'm like cutting off an arm so that I could escape the bear trap, and so I can fight. Well, that's a bad analogy. You guys get it.
Yeah, I get it. The dog wants to be taken off the leash, all right? He wants to basically strengthen himself to allow for less blowback in his future endeavors of attack.
Already told all the fighters, and it seems like most people understand that this is the best move. If the previous content cop was entertaining to you, or this video is entertaining, or you like the message, the best thing that you can do, for me, is to support Creator Clash. Buy a ticket, buy a pay-per-view ticket, an in-person ticket, or donate to the fundraiser. I just want to see this event do well. You know, I didn't try this shit because I thought I was going to be a good boxer. I didn't think I would be an awesome event organizer. And, you know, now I'm finally back to where I started, which is making fucking content cop videos.
That's funny, man. That is funny. He's approaching this with, I don't know. I kind of like the demeanor. I can't lie to you. Like, there's a presence here, man. There is something here. We'll see what the fucking literal 90% that's left of this video contains. But, dude, again, I may not like the content cop for my own fucking reasons, but the guy's got dog in him, all right? I have been stating this, and I stand by this. iDubbbz is not as low level as people commonly like claim that he is today. Now, I have problems with his arguments. I think he's sloppy in a lot of ways, but the dog's within.
I don't want to make this too ham-fisted, but I kind of do want to make it ham-fisted, because I'm like, I spent my last fucking 4 years working on this stupid boxing shit.
Yeah, it's funny. He's basically like coming to terms with the fact of like, well, on paper, I just wasted the last 4 years. Failed in ways to raise money for charity. And, you know, failed as a boxer, I guess, on paper, even though I still think it's respectable in any format to fight in any way. Especially he didn't pick easy fights. I think that's true. And then what the fuck was the third? Basically fail. Oh yeah, he's back to making content cop shit, which he was trying to kind of distance from.
I mean, it was worth it, absolutely. But like, it's crazy that I've just returned to content cop.
Yeah, bro, it is crazy.
Having said all that, Creator Clash ticket link down in the description. Go check it out, buy tickets, support the charity.
Are you going to
support
Creator
the fighters,
Clash, bro?
And have a good ass time. I mean, ultimately, I think it's a good thing because I think I am meant to roll around in shit.
Yes.
I think me and Ethan are both meant to be rolling around in pig shit all day long.
Yes.
And other people are meant to do boxing or debating or whatever else. Ethan and me, pig shit rolling around
Yes.
type of fellas.
You underestimate my strength! I've got coach's strength! The will of the Lord! I mean, Yahweh!
Oh my god, I can't even look at old videos with them together the same. It's wild how many times Ethan is depicted wearing Grateful Dead merch, bro. You a Deadhead, bro? We got something in common, bro?
Yahweh!
I think the worst
Yahweh. Oh, I see. It was Yahweh, bro.
criticisms I labeled at Ethan is that he's a bad boss, a tyrant of a boss. I just implied that he was being taken advantage of by people either in his community or outside of his community, and I called him a bitch-made coward. That was like the summary of personal insults labeled at Ethan. Before Ethan even knew what my video was about, he was already framing me as anti-Semitic.
But he's like, no, actually, Ethan, the fucking Jew bag. Fuck this Jew bag Zionist baby killer, guys, right?
I don't know if that's what the video is.
I'm gonna.
Right. No, yeah, that is true. Like, look, man, like, Ethan's been real liberal about throwing around anti-Semitism allegations, okay? And there are many reasons why that is not wise, okay? And again, a big one, you know, he has been conflating anti-Zionism with anti-Semitism. I've cited examples of that before, all right? But this is an interesting critique, right? Like, for him to default to this. We'll see, though. We'll see what iDubbbz says, because, you know, I'm not, you know, fully sold yet. Let's see.
One of you. I fucking hate Jews too, guys. Let's get after it. Israelis have no right to defend themselves, actually. All Israelis are settlers, actually. What is he going to give me a history lesson now? Is he a historian? Yeah, he just discovered empathy, by the way, and only extends it to the point where you're actually talking about Jewish people or Israelis. Then empathy stops and they should all be murdered. Bro's actually out there like Timothy McVeigh. He's running to the closest fucking kindergarten to blow it up. There's a Jew. I heard that a Jewish.
That's not what Timothy McVeigh did.
They want all you guys.
Timothy McVeigh, eh? Let's see. Oh, wow. Okay. Interesting. Oklahoma City bombing, eh? He's about to commit a mass murder. Damn. $168 people, wow. I'm trying to understand if this was a racially motivated attack. Anybody got lore on the Oklahoma bombing? The Oklahoma City bombing? I see. One of the books he read, The Turner Diaries, a racist novel popular in neo-Nazi and militia circles, about an angry man who blows up the FBI building. Interesting. Briefly a member of the KKK. Interesting. Okay. Look, I think we can safely say, yeah, so piece of shit who killed innocents unjustly. Alright. So Ethan's basically saying he's like a fucking, like a white terror guy.
Still quit, and for me to just be like alone, little Jew boy, alone.
Like, Ethan, under a year ago, was saying he doesn't use anti-Semitism in that way. He's not a guy to call anything and everything anti-Semitic.
You know, in my whole life, I've never screamed foul on anti-Semitism. I literally have been getting this shit since the second I stepped foot on the internet, and I have never fucking ever done this, okay?
That was certainly true. up until recently.
Okay, so the people online, they're saying, "Oh, Ethan's making himself a victim," or "Ethan's making everything about anti-Semitism." I've done this once in my life, right now. But he's like, "No, actually, Ethan, the fucking Jew bag, fuck this Jew bag Zionist baby killer, guys."
Yeah, okay, that is like, I mean, yes, he's incorrect to frame it that way without watching it. The argument I think would just be that Ethan more or less could have guessed what the contents of the video would be before watching it, I guess, which is not really, still, it's not really a sober appraisal, and you could also argue that he felt immediate indignation and betrayal at the hand of his former friend, right?
Right?
I don't know if that's what the video is.
I mean, I get that he's scared and offended, but this was the whole fucking point of my video, Ethan. I was saying that you shouldn't be doing this. It led to me making this video in the first place.
Oh, right, I see. Like the conflating, what? Like the false flagging of the false, like, claims of anti-Semitism? Okay.
You were triggered by the CPS harassment thing, and then you immediately equated Anissa and I to it. That was sloppy, and that was horrendous, and it was horrendous for us. And now you're doing it again.
I'm gonna watch it live.
Should you?
Okay, so that, I think, is the first time that iDubbbz has acknowledged CPS in any meaningful way.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care. But like, why?
I just don't think, I feel like you're going to get really emotional and say something you regret.
Well, I've got the button.
Like, I know you don't have a problem taking it head on, but I just feel
Of course not. Because I know that
you're
whenever...
understandably upset, and I feel like it might be a little...
Should we wait to talk about it, or you want to talk about it?
You should do it off stream. Because I don't know. This escalated initially because we were live and you guys were heated about. I forget what it was.
I just think it might be wise to watch it, think out your thoughts, and respond in a calm way. Because there's no chance that you don't get heated.
I don't need to fucking pre-watch this. I don't need someone else to hold my hand through it. Like, I'm ready to take on anything that these people have to say about me. He's like, "No, actually, Ethan, the fucking Jew bag. Fuck this Jew bag."
Yeah, my iDubbbz cuts are actually they're jarring. But yeah, okay, basically, this is iDubbbz, I guess, showing Ethan, choosing to watch the video, claiming he probably would be able to appraise this without emotions blinding him, and then iDubbbz contrasting it with him basically immediately getting emotional, claiming that iDubbbz is an anti-Semite.
Zionist baby killer, guys. I'm one of you. I fucking hate Jews too, guys.
You attacked us, so I attacked back, and now you're acting surprised and shocked, and you're doing it all on your podcast live. So naturally, you reacting live is you having an emotional reaction and seeing things that honestly are scary.
I just said I vented about them not defending me. What the fuck is he like?
I see. When Ethan attacks people, I was venting. Yeah, okay. All right. Yes, he was venting about the CPS call on fucking the podcast. That's accurate. But it was like two things can be true. Once he was venting and he was attacking people, you could say, yeah. What was I going to say? There was something. Oh yeah. So iDubbbz is officially basically acknowledging. I mean, he did in the first one, but he's acknowledging that he's attacking Ethan now. Okay. Well, all right. I guess that's good. I still wish that iDubbbz owned that fact more. Like again, at the end, it was weird how he put the condescending kind of like say something positive about Mr. Klein. But yeah, whatever. Let's see what
he's actually losing his shit and I just can't believe it, dude.
Should you call him up?
Venting to 20 to 30K live viewers.
So go fuck yourself.
I agree. Fair weather friends
Klein.
Who are so happy to be friends as long as they're getting something out of it.
Ian sucks for the same reason right now. He could say something
spineless. Our POV is like, fuck everybody, and I don't want to hear any excuses. You're not my friend, and you never were, and you never will be. You never will be.
What's very insane about this content...
It's interesting. I've never seen him saying, "you never will be." I never saw that. If I had seen that, maybe this would be more predictable. Maybe I wouldn't have eaten a damn shoe. But life goes on. Life goes on. Interesting.
Is I was thinking about Ethan's feelings so much in that video. I thought about the idea of like how I shouldn't be saying the term Zionist or Zionism in that video, because I was like, he has explained before that that's personally insulting to him and he doesn't like that. Regardless of how true it is, I was like, I'm going to think about Ethan's feelings and not mention this. Fast forward to him reacting to my video, he's just outright calling me a fucking Nazi.
Is it a coincidence that Ian really shaved his head just before doing this?
Yeah. Oh God. I really am curious what he has to say about this. I am curious. I want to see what he has to say about this.
Boy.
What's up?
Genuinely don't know what happened to Ian's editor or why he did this, but a good quarter of the vid is hard jump cuts and just about that much footage is repeated over at least 3 or 4 times. It's like a schizo style known to certain circles he is not in.
I don't think that anyone else edited this. I think this was edited probably by iDubbbz, which doesn't. Yeah, even the first video wasn't edited that well, really. Many reasons I could project as to why that might be. But thank you for the 10 bones, Lumi. Yeah, yeah, let's see. I'm the biggest thing I'm gonna be trying to be critical of is the arguments. Yeah, let's see. So this is the sword or swastika, or I should say manji or swastika thing, which, if I had to guess, iDubbbz is going to hand wave away and basically say, yeah, bro, I just picked up the most available sword. Looked cool.
Video, and he's holding a swastika one. I mean, we can free Palestine without being a Nazi. You fucking Nazis. How about that? Well, this is the white savior, Ian, who's just found empathy, unless you're Jewish, of course.
Ethan, people are allowed to shave their head and not be called anti-Semitic. I mean, if you're going to critique his podcast or be pissed off that he personally insulted you, even that is enough to be called anti-Semitic. It's fucking crazy. Now, I don't want to talk about Hassan's sword. I don't want to talk about Hassan's sword hilt because Ethan himself basically admitted already multiple times he doesn't think any of us did that intentionally. And he would be right.
Do I think any of them actually wanted to put a swastika in the photo? No, yeah, no. I don't actually think that. The chances that they did on purpose is close to zero, right? So I'm not accusing them.
I picked up a random sword in Hassan's room that was laying around. That could be the end of the discussion. You don't actually need to debate Hassan about the sword hilt.
He left it up.
Decision-making
if it was a mistake, he could have deleted it.
But I'm not going to delete.
Interesting. When the fuck did iDubbbz record this? When the fuck did iDubbbz record this? Am I meant to believe that iDubbbz recorded this fucking last night? He just pumped this out? No way. I'm so slow. I'm so slow to compare to these people. It's crazy.
Delete the photo because that would be indulging in your weird anti-Semitic fantasies.
We can free Palestine without.
Oh, he's not going to delete the photo, right? Yeah.
I'm going to delete the photo because that hilt.
He left it up.
Decision-making
if it was a mistake, he could have deleted it.
But I'm not going to delete the photo because that would be indulging in your weird anti-Semitic fantasies.
We can free Palestine without being a Nazi. You fucking Nazis. How about that?
I'm done being nice to Ethan. I gave it a chance.
Whoa. When did you give it a chance? Whoa. The content cop was not nice, okay, Mr. iDubbbz? No cope about that. The content cop was not nice. Maybe he means he wanted to have a conversation with Mr. Ethan Klein, and that Ethan refused to have the conversation unless they spoke out against denims or whatever. Again, to be clear, one thing that was told to me that I don't know the full legitimacy of, but if true, does paint the picture a little bit differently for me, is the idea that Anissa, okay, iDubbbz's wife, was friends with denims for many years, even while Anissa was a Twitch streamer, okay, potentially a decade ago or so, whatever. That, if true, does kind of explain why, more so why they would side closer with, the Hassan orbit, or not want to speak out against denims, because it's like, this is a close friend of Anissa's who Ethan, is going on the broadcast calling a bitch. The reason or the justification he provides for that is the CPS stuff. It's possible Ethan was calling her that before the CPS stuff, but yeah.
Sincerity and my empathy in that last video was real.
Okay, so he's doubling down on the, he was trying to be nice in the content cop, which, okay, I believe that he believes that, okay? But I do think it is a cope. He should have just committed to the attack. I understand people who rail on me for that and think, well, but he's like sincerely trying to, reach out to him, or this was kind of trying to show he's more empathetic or whatever. But to me, I just think that it's a way for him to absolve himself of the kind of malice of making a, sensationalized content cop on Mr. Klein.
I was even equating to him having crash out moments in the same way that denims could have crash out moments. I think we're all capable of it, but he was using it in the video to suggest that I was making fun of his mental health.
To my good friend Ian of 8 years, I really appreciate you weaponizing my mental health against me.
To make Ethan crash out. He's having a parasocial weird crash out. People can have crash out moments. Maybe if Ethan's able to get some help. Dude, I'm not making fun of your mental health. Every example you used was me basically saying that other people are trying to affect you. It's understandable that you're going through this right now, Ethan. We all go through this.
To characterize anything I'm doing as crashing out, that I need help, that I need to get some kind of treatment, is cruel and pathetic on a level I didn't think would ever be possible.
Say it's cruel might be a fucking bit more than I would fucking say. Just, you could say it's just cope. That's the way I would frame it, is it's like it's cope. It's a way to kind of hand wave away. But the thing is it's like, there's two kind of responses that can be interpreted. It's like, okay, you are attacking me. You're maliciously attacking me. Okay. Or you are just kind of having a bit of a spiral that I want to kind of, you know, acknowledge as a spiral, right? So I don't know. We'll see.
Possible of doing.
Every fucking example that you tried to smear me with was me actually pointing to something else that could be affecting you. He even brought up the clip of me saying, if you get help. We all need help. Everyone on this planet needs help. I don't care how you get it. You can wander into the jungle and go on an ayahuasca trip. I don't care how you get your help or what you define as help. But if it helps you, that would be good. Because right now it doesn't seem like you're getting much help. The main criticism that I was seeing online with my video from Ethan and Hila is that I didn't mention the CPS call.
Yeah, okay, so this is kind of the big moment. Because this was something that is just a context error, okay? Something that should have been included, that should have at least been mentioned. I think that is true, okay? I do not think that the CPS call is something that can be used to hand wave away all criticism, but if we're going to be wanting proper contextualization, I do think that's necessary in this case.
There's really just one central point that I want to make here. My good friend Ian, in his hour-long takedown, did not mention one time Child Protective Services. Not one time.
There was not even one mention of CPS.
And a lot of the clips he uses is us fired up from the day that CPS came to us.
So like
without even
of
explaining that at least that's the context, it's pretty cowardly.
I wonder why I wouldn't mention the CPS call. Could it be that the CPS call happened the same day that you were shit-talking me, and I didn't have any chance to defend myself? You just immediately, in the same podcast, right next to each other, said, CPS call was very traumatic. And then you said, fuck Ian and Anissa. And you linked those together, you kind of layered those flavors, and then Anissa and I got a bunch of harassment. We had nothing to do with the CPS call. What are all these fucking comments on your Reddit saying, like...
This was what I tweeted on some post, where they were talking about how empathetic, hope Ethan learns from this, yet no fucking mention of CPS call once. iDubbbz admitting the CPS call from the content cop should be a bigger story.
Like I could conquer the world.
What's up?
I like the deputy way more than a CC. It still has a massive amount of problems, but it's so much more entertaining and feels like a slight return to form in terms of the delivery and entertainment value.
I hope you're right. I hope you're right. Let's get into this, baby. Thank you for the donation, Isabel. God bless. I hope that everyone's doing okay. I might seem a little stiff. I might seem a little bit, you know, what's the word? Unanimated today. And look, it's just because navigating this drama at the moment, not fun. And there's reasons why I'm being careful with my approach in certain ways. And part of it is certainly because the counter wave, okay, I am in ways going against the commentary community consensus right now. And when you're doing that, I don't know. There's certain tact that would be wise to have, I think. But, you know, I am now, the sun is falling, as you can see. My FPS is going down, so I'm going to reorient my entire setup real quick, okay? God bless you, everyone. I'm going to show you real quick, just so that you're aware. This is what iDubbbz did to me, okay? In reality, I am the true victim of iDubbbz, because I did nothing wrong to him. All right? Ethan Klein might have attacked iDubbbz on his podcast after a CPS call, but I did nothing to deserve this, Mr. iDubbbz. What the heck? What the heck, man? People who don't know what the fuck they're talking about are claiming that iDubbbz is going to be making a content cop on Ethan Klein. Delusional. Not happening. If that happens, I will eat a shoe.
YouTuber named Gokinaru promised to eat a shoe.
Gokinaru, he said, I'll literally eat a shoe.
Gokinaru saying, I'm going to eat my own shoe.
I've made a continual lapse in my judgment. A fucking flip-flop LGBTQ sneaker. Warning, this product may contain chemicals known to cause cancer. That's real leather, bro. Yum. Cheers. Fuck. Chad, am I cooked? Ethan's talking about me. What's good, bro? That might not be edible.
Can't wait.
Bruh. Is this what dogs feel like? Am I a dog? I might be a dog, but I'm not a little bitch. Cheers. Fuck. Bruh. The glue, dude. Is this pre-recorded? Hey, yo, starry eyes. Shit. My bad. I didn't mean to spit in your face like that, bro. That was an accident. I misclicked. Okay, let's see. How does the camera look? Look at my messy ass bed. Oh. What's up, chat? Bruh, everything's falling apart. Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you need a friend. Everything is awesome. When iDubbbz makes a content cop return and you have to eat a shoe, fucking dickhead. Yeah. Let's see. I see. Oh shit. All right, we're back. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm your host, Killer Keemstar. Let's get right into the booze. Okay. How are you feeling? Feeling okay? Oh, I'm feeling fantastic right now, man. Feeling just great. Thanks again, Isabel and Lumi. Let me just double check. Anyone in chat? What's up? We got 200 fuckers in here. Oh, someone's spamming emojis. iDubbbz double cucked. First by H3, now Hassan. Goka, what are you eating next? There's a content deputy out. Yes, and Anonymous. I'm watching it right now. Can we have a moment of silence for the old iDubbbz fans? God bless them. Do you think iDubbbz even knows it happened? Well, before making the content cop? Yes. What? Is that what he's going to claim? That would be dog ass. Okay. Let's do it. I'm glad to see you're still alive. Dreamy. Alive and booming and kicking. Goka, drop a main channel video. I'm begging. Facts. Goka got to eat a sock to go with the shoe. Yeah. You think he knows about the shoe eating? Yeah, probably. I don't know. Oh, he meant eating the shoe. Yes, of course he does. Of course he does. That's why iDubbbz made a content deputy, because now I have to eat a second shoe. Little did he know that I ate two in that video, if you were paying close attention, if you were able to interpret context. Okay, here we go. So basically, yes, Ian attempting to call somebody out without mentioning CPS is top tier gaslighting. Oh my god, this is the word that I keep hearing. Okay.
It happened because of the CPS call. I don't entirely blame your audience for getting confused, because number one, it's a fucking cult, and number two, you can't even get the timeline straight.
Damn, he just went out and said it. H3's community is currently a cult. There's a lot of cults going around right now, I'll say that much.
So if anyone's watching your dumbass, their brain is also going to get scrambled.
Be friends as long as they're getting something out of it. So again, he's not showing the context. What was the okay, I'll play this part. Did you guys ever find the context of what?
Struggling to recall the context of him shit-talking our intentions as friends.
I was talking about here? Because I feel like I wasn't even talking about him. I could be wrong. I just don't remember ever saying like, if I did say that,
I thought you were talking about them. About Anissa and Ian in that clip.
That's the same clip of
it's all the
when
part of the
CPS
same
was
clip.
called.
Yeah.
Same clip.
Hey, I've used that sound effect before to express the exact same thing. Yo, iDubbbz, this good, bro. What's up?
Part of the same conversation.
You completely wiped your brain of what happened during the CPS stream. That's not my fucking fault. That's no one else's fault but yours.
All I wanted for you to do.
Okay, so this is interesting because this is more of iDubbbz basically being like, hey, buddy. Hey. Take ownership of your own damn fucking actions. Okay? which was, that sentiment was expressed in his original video, talking about how there is, and this is real, okay, there is an infantilization that has been occurring of Mr. Klein, where people can hand wave away the actions of Mr. Klein on the basis of the harassment or the attacks that have been coming his way. Obviously, the alleged CPS call that occurred was, yes, in ways it was used to legitimize some harassment that occurred, right? Again, the response is that it is retaliatory harassment, okay? But iDubbbz is effectively making the case like, okay, but we didn't fucking attack you. You attacked us by association. That's not a direct attack, Mr. Klein. And he's basically being like, take fucking ownership of that fact, bro. And so, yeah, I don't know, there's a lot you could, I guess, unpack about that. I do, again, stand by there is an infantilization that occurs of Mr. Klein right now. There's a lot of actions and behavior that he has been exhibiting that would not be usually excused on any other grounds by most other people, especially not in my ecosystem, commentary space, or whatever. But now it is in ways permissible because he is aiming his eyes and his sights at Mr. Hassan Piker and the orbit around him. And again, I am not an endorser of these fucking people, okay? Like, you can have your criticisms of them, but when you are seeking litigation, again, against random Redditors with 50 followers who are posting minute-and-a-half-long clips of Mr. Klein on Reddit, and then you are sending them letters when they try to counter-appeal, you are basically taking their docs and you are sending them legal letters, all right, basically stating in ways, pressuring them, bullying them into trying to state, we will sue you unless you give us the conversations you've had with H3 Snarkers, the conversations you've had with Reddit. There's like a long list of demands that they provide this guy, and then the crux of it is, if you don't do this, we will sue you. And then they add this weird little note that says, I can pull it up, fuck it. I can pull it up because a lot of people want to be blind to this shit. Very, very aggressively, willfully blind to this shit. Your hair goofy. People call me goofy. Goofy, I do be a goofy motherfucker. Goofy ass. Motherfucker. One sec.
I am opening our...
Okay, here. This is the fucking letter, alright? Almost like, what, 5 months? They give a bunch of conditions. Provide their office with all correspondence you have had with the moderators of H3 Snark. You provide our office with all correspondence you have had with other H3 Snark users. You provide our office with all correspondence you have had with Reddit. And you provide our office with information regarding the identities of H3 Snark moderators. Okay? So this was sent to a random fuck who posted a clip onto Reddit, basically, as far as I'm aware. Again, if there's further context, this should be elucidated by Mr. Klein. This is something that commentators should be much more fucking critical of. If you do not or cannot satisfy all 5 conditions, Teddy Incorporated will sue you for copyright infringement and misrepresentation. Keep in mind that federal court filings are public. Anyone performing a simple Google search on you, let alone a background check, will discover this. That is an attempt to bully through a DMCA. Okay? And they are pretty well overtly, but you could say subtly implicating, if you do not comply with our demands, we will dox you. We will make it so that you have this court case publicly available when someone Googles your name. This might affect your employment potential. And obviously, they would be aware that if a public court filing is made of someone being sued by Teddy Incorporated, all right, that would lead to basically this person being doxxed. Anyway, whatever. Let's see. What's iDubbbz got? Let me check in with chat real quick, Bobby. I'm in a car wash. Congrats to Dongo. Because they were doxing him. Yo, Lean Triske, show me the person who was sued in this instance. Show me them doxing Ethan Klein. Because there's been no proof of that from that person occurring. You cannot be suing one person for the actions of like randoms on like random other people on a subreddit. What world are we operating in where that is not something you call out and say, hey, that's fucking stupid and malicious. What are you doing? No less coming from the fucking king, self-described, self-appointed king of fucking fair use. But anyway, here's him stating that so that people with hard heads have them hopefully opened up a bit. Like, that's not a title I'm projecting onto him. As I believe recently as like 3 years ago, he was calling himself that.
So do you see how psychotic this is? Me being a fair use champion, a free speech champion, this is basically them saying, fuck you, we're coming after you, this is spite. So, again, who's the victim here? I have never sued anybody in my life.
Man. And then contrast that with H3 opening up his IP.
I am opening our IP to the world. This is a message with peace and love. Our IP is open. I got inspired by Hassan. I want the Ethan Industrial Complex. I think it's a good idea. I like it. So if you want to cut up clips from the podcast, from our members live, from anything with me in it, go for it, man. Monetize it. I will not claim. I will not remove. I will not do anything. I mean, to be fair, it's basically been my policy. I don't claim or remove anything really at all.
But now you're making it explicit.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, and then he goes on 2 years or so later to sue a random fuck on Reddit, for a 1.5-minute long clip. And again, in an effort to gain knowledge about H3 snarkers, and with a subtle fucking threat, basically, of exposing their identity or having a public lawsuit associated with their name. How did we get away from the content deputy? Oh, sorry, I'm just laying out more of the reasons why I am not jumping on the H3 fucking bandwagon, and why I'm very critical of Mr. Klein, and why I think he's been setting very bad precedents that should be paid more attention to. Unfortunately, we're in a team sports arc of this fucking drama, the worst drama that I've ever engaged with, in especially the commentary community personally. But, you know, life goes on.
Do was say the bare minimum of like, hey, this is fucked up, this is not true about CPS, whatever, like the bare minimum. It came up because they were talking about it on their fucking podcast. By the way, they're the ones that like
CPS stream. That's not my fucking fault. That's no one else's fault but yours.
All I wanted for you to do was say the bare minimum of like, hey, this is fucked up, this is not true about CPS, whatever, like the bare minimum. It came up because they were talking about it on their fucking podcast.
Extreme timeline confusion. We expressed sympathy for Ethan and Hila on our podcast 4 days after he attacked us.
By the way, they're the ones that like started this conversation by talking about it on the podcast. Be like, hey, I'm not getting involved.
Yes. True. That is Ethan having complete confusion of the timeline. He's somehow convinced himself that he was the first one to call them out publicly, when iDubbbz laid out, and this is accurate, that basically people on, I believe, Ethan's subreddit, the claim from iDubbbz is that it was low-key a DGGer, but, you know, no definitive real proof of that. But basically, the argument is a DGGer posted onto the H3 subreddit saying, hey, iDubbbz and Anissa are friends with Froggy Tonic and maybe Denims and whatever. Why haven't they, like, said anything about this? And then Ethan, I guess, confronts them privately, and eventually, after, I guess, the CPS call, Ethan makes it public, right? And then a few days later, iDubbbz addresses it on his podcast with Anissa and basically says, we don't want to get fucking involved. And then Ethan here is confusing the timeline, saying they actually started it by talking about it on the podcast.
All I wanted for you to do was say the bare minimum of like, hey, this is fucked up, this is not true about CPS, whatever, like the bare minimum. It came up because they were talking about it on their fucking podcast. By the way, they're the ones that like started this conversation by talking about it on the podcast. Be like, hey, I'm not getting involved.
I think that was their response after you guys initially called them out.
This is what I was talking about.
Hey, WAB, the context king. God bless you.
You cannot...
God bless you, bro.
Have something terrible happen, be like, yes, let's make some content, and then shit talk your friends of 8 years.
Well, you can. It's just, I would agree, it's not a sober thing to do. It's not something I would fucking do. It's dumb.
I'm so fired up, I don't even know what to do with myself, which is why I'm on the I don't know if that's a good state to be in life.
That's that. Kind of spin.
And a lot of the clips he uses of...
What was that? What was that?
Is
talk your friends of 8 years.
I'm so fired up, I don't even know what to do with myself, which is why I'm coming. On the internet.
I'm so fired up I don't even know what to do with myself, which is why I'm coming.
I don't know if that's a good state to be in live.
And I don't know if that's a good state to be in live.
That's kind of spitting.
And Dan's basically the voice of reason. He's like, yeah, you probably shouldn't be live reacting to this, bro. What the fuck?
a lot of the clips he uses is us fired up from the day that CPS came to us.
For anyone confused about
I see. Okay, so iDubbbz is basically associating. It's like the day of CPS. If you had the soberness of mind to think like it might not be a good idea to go live right now while we're so fired up and emotional, why didn't you have that same energy on that CPS day, basically?
the timeline, Ethan was talking shit about us.
Okay. I've seen some what's the word? Disputes on this timeline, but let's allow iDubbbz to elucidate it, and then we'll do a bit of a digging, okay? Ethan discovers Froggy tweets February 28th. March 1st, Ethan begins to publicly attach this editor's statements to iDubbbz Instagram harassment, so Ethan posts some posts, basically. Then on March 3rd, call to CPS happens. I see. Interesting. Okay. Ethan shits on iDubbbz on his Instagram and his podcast.
Was talking shit about us on his Instagram before any CPS shit. He was also talking shit about us on his podcast before any CPS visit.
Oh, okay. Ethan shits on iDubbbz on his Instagram and on his podcast, March 5th. I see.
On March 7th, CPS visits Ethan and Neela, and that same day, they
CPS visit Ethan and Neela, talk about CPS, then shit talk iDubbbz and Anissa.
decide, let's do our podcast, and let's have the topic be the CPS visit and how distraught we are about that. And then right next to that, right after it, you guys talk about me and Anissa. But you don't just talk about us. You shit talk us, and you imply that we're friends with people who are doing this, who are the ones who are harassing you.
Do you have evidence that H3 Snark called CPS on you?
Did I say
like
that?
Random anonymous Redditors?
Did I?
Dude, it's wild. I can't believe it. Like, iDubbbz really pumped this shit out within like 24 fucking hours of the Hassan H3 debate. Wow. Like, is this really added after the fact? Let's see.
Say that?
Wait, what's the...
I said their primary...
Oh, right, I see. iDubbbz is showing the title of that podcast episode. It says, Snark called Child Protective Services on us. Okay, and here's Ethan denying that he claimed that.
With people who are doing this, who are the ones who are harassing you.
Do you have evidence that H3 Snark called CPS on you?
Did I say
like
that?
Random anonymous Redditors?
Did I say that?
Snark called Child Protective Services on us. Yeah, yes, so, well, yeah, okay, so, yes, he did say that. He said, sorry, that Snark called Child Protective Services on him.
Wait, what's the...
I said they're primary responsible for harassing me.
Who called CPS?
What the fuck? So, I don't know.
To be honest, I'm very...
Bruh. Not good.
proud that I didn't immediately jump to Ethan and Neela's defense, because when you look into the...
What the fuck? So, I don't know.
To be honest, I'm very proud that I didn't immediately jump to Ethan and Neela's defense, because when you look into the story, it actually looks a lot shittier for Ethan and Neela. And I do mean that literally. There was this H3 stream where Ethan was dumping as per usual. He was talking about his own health. He was talking about his caca breath, his dog having diarrhea, his dog having giardia.
Olive has giardia. It's a bacterial infection in the intestines that make...
Interesting. So this is in ways I would not have expected iDubbbz to bring this up directly, but he is. So we'll engage with it now. In the main channel video that H3 uploaded, he did not present the full story of what he said on his podcast. It is true that on his podcast, Ethan overshared. He absolutely overshared. Whether he was trying to joke or being serious, this does not justify a fucking CPS call, visit, whatever. It's just something that, as a public persona, you should not be oversharing in this capacity, especially when you have attracted and accrued such a fucking militant harassment ecosystem around you, right? Is that what iDubbbz is going to say? Let's see what he says. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see.
makes you have diarrhea.
His child running around putting things in their mouth.
Sonny's crawling around. He's putting everything in his mouth. He's at that age. He has giardia.
The whole family possibly having giardia.
Oh,
and now Hila has giardia.
Shut.
Right, and then he goes on to basically describe, like through his own words, this might not be reflective of reality entirely, like with what giardia, how it can be taken in, but he basically goes on to say you can only get giardia from ingestion of poop or something like feces.
For real?
And now I think this morning I had diarrhea.
Oh my god.
What can I do to not get it from you?
I'm trying
to, because I'm not trying to get it.
No, it's extremely ridiculous to get. You have to ingest my poop.
Talking about the viscosity of his child's shit.
And meanwhile, he is covered in viscous, low viscosity diarrhea.
He mentioned diarrhea a lot.
Crazy diarrheas like in the middle of the night. All the time he's having these crazy diarrheas. You wash your hands as best you can, but these are really nasty diarrheas. And then extremely foul smelling diarrheas.
So of course, Ethan, having made so many enemies over the years, other people react to his content. And when other people see that he's talking about his children getting giardia from dog poop.
Sonny's crawling around. He's putting everything in his mouth. He's at that age. He has giardia.
People are quite reasonably concerned. And so, yes, anyone who's seeing that content might be concerned enough.
Interesting. So this is the fucking H3 fans. Interesting. So iDubbbz might be trying to claim that it was H3's own fucking fans who might have made the call. Interesting. Bro, the Klein household always going crazy with nasty stuff. Kaka Kleins, doo-doo family.
Enough to call CPS, including Ethan's own chat, which, by the way, is not a measly...
The Klein household equals Chernobyl. Ethan has poop. What is happening in your house? Ethan eats poop.
...number. It's about 26,000 at the time of this stream. So there are 26,000 people listening to Ethan go into great detail...
Get this man a bubble. The Kleins are playing Human Centipede. How does that happen? Everyone got dysentery? It's like that goddamn Oregon Trail in your house.
Detail over 7 or 8 minutes about diarrhea, viscosity.
He inherited the pesto special. Maybe you gave the dogs that, Ethan. You're patient zero. I'm eating, bro. Olive said I'm a shit on these walls. As a vet tech, I had no idea humans can get giardia.
Diarrhea. His child having giardia. Him and his whole family having giardia. They're calling it the poop house. Now what Ethan does, instead of taking any responsibility for sharing too much on his live stream, is that he decides to attack specific creators like Denims and say she was the source of the CPS call because her chat was reacting to Ethan and saying, wow, this is concerning.
Is on her platform right now.
Okay, Ethan is attempting to smear Denims who did not condone CPS call. Okay, wait up. So we went through that timeline. Let me go and see. I saw that Papa Gut might have identified some kind of an issue with the timeline. One sec. Fuck my life. Okay, let's see. Here, this
They
looks
decide
like it.
11th CPS visits Ethan and Hila, and that same day they decide, let's do our podcast, and let's have the topic be the CPS visit. Right after it, you guys talk about me and Anissa, but you don't just talk about it.
But like what you just showed us was that like there was like 2 days that you guys had to say something publicly. They're not a continuous harassment campaign. Your editor is like harassing them, then it's called the CPS happen.
Whoa. Your former editor. Okay.
Is this
of like maybe the past Creator Clash, which was like we're approaching 2 years ago now, for the record.
So I'm assuming this is when we found out about it. They're not a continuous harassment campaign. Your editor is like harassing them, then it's called the CPS happens. I'm assuming this is when we found out about it. What? Then Ian shits on iDubbbz.
Ethan shits on iDubbbz on his Instagram.
Okay, there's something off here. I have to. Okay, all right, hold on. All right. They give it 5,000 defiant. The problem is that he isn't acknowledging that Ethan was getting called a bad parent before the call itself had happened. Yeah, that's true. Wait, hold on a second. Hold on. Wait, no, this doesn't make any sense. Wait. The CPS getting called was not the start of the event. He's trying to lie and reframe the situation as if, well, how do we know the CPS just got called? How are we supposed to know all that? because this was an ongoing thing. Denims was talking about, Ethan was talking about this for how long before this episode? What are you talking about?
What?
Like, it started with them putting in this weird lie that he abuses his children, basically, and they roll around in shit.
Is he gonna cite some shit? What's going on?
It was your friend who was doing it, or excuse me, your wife's friend who was doing it.
Denims.
And
Denims was claiming they were rolling around in shit. Let's see.
Then it carried over into CPS actually getting called. Who fucking cares when CPS got called? Oh my god, this guy's a loser.
Wait, what? What's the claim exactly? I'm confused. He's claiming basically that Denims was publicly reacting to, or no, Denims was claiming that the Klein's kids are rolling around in shit prior to the CPS visit, right? I wish that this was better elucidated. I don't fully understand the point.
This guy's a loser. He just lied outright. He lied. He tried to manipulate the time frame.
Wait, but how? What's the... Okay, we need to get a little bit beyond the hysteria here. I need to re-listen to this and understand what the time frame is missing exactly.
But you don't just talk about
But what you just showed us was that like there was like 2 days that you guys had to say something publicly. They're not a continuous harassment campaign. Your editor is like harassing them. Then it's called the CPS happened.
Wait up. So, okay, so editor Ethan begins to publicly attach this editor's statements to iDubbbz Instagram harassment. Call to CPS happens March 3rd. Ethan shits on iDubbbz on his Instagram and on his podcast March 5th.
Is this? I'm assuming this is when we found out about.
And so, what I want to know is, when did the conversation, the private conversation with Mr. Klein occur? Was it after March 1st? Did Ethan shoot first, ask questions later?
About it? What? Then Ian shits on iDubbbz. Okay, there's something off here. I have to. Okay, all right, hold on. All right, they give it 5,000 defiant. The problem is that he isn't acknowledging that Ethan was getting called a bad parent before the call itself had happened. Yeah, that's true. Wait, hold on a second. Hold on.
Ethan was getting called a bad parent before this.
Hold on. Wait, no, this doesn't make any sense. Wait. The CPS getting called was not the start of the event. He's trying to lie and reframe the situation as if, how do we...
Well, the start of the event was the Froggy Tonic guy, right? Like, as far as iDubbbz is concerned, the start of the event is he gets attached with Froggy Tonic on, Reddit, right? Let's see.
Being called was not the start of the event. He's trying to lie and reframe the situation as if, how do we know the CPS just got called? How are we supposed to know all that? Because this was an ongoing thing. Denims was talking about, Ethan was talking about this for how long before this episode? What do you...
Well, but, is that iDubbbz lying, right? Okay, the thing that might be incorrect is if, H3 reached out to iDubbbz before March 1st, okay, before he posted publicly. You can make an argument that iDubbbz is kind of skewing things a little bit, because it's well, actually, Ethan and iDubbbz, or Ethan and Anissa, had a conversation before he started, I guess, talking publicly. But either way, I don't know that proves he's lying. I don't know. Anyway, whatever. Fuck. Ian has messed with timelines before. I don't know if he does it on purpose, but he has. iDubbbz didn't care about Froggy Tonic. He cares about being associated with the CPS call. Yeah. Why does Ethan expect all his friends to come to defend when he's just constantly getting in new drama? Yeah, there's a fair question there, honestly, man. Look, I would understand why... I would very much understand why someone would not want to be publicly associated with this drama, this circumstance, in any real, meaningful way. Even the guy, what is he, a therapist guy? I'm not sure, but Psychology in Seattle, guy that Ian had in his video, that guy just being a part of that video, he's gotten exposed to immeasurable harassment. So let's see. Ethan. Oh, sorry. My bad.
Advocating for our children to be forcibly removed from us by Child Protective Services.
Ethan is attempting to smear Denims, who did not condone the CPS calls.
The problem with this CPS thing is that Ethan has proven to be a manipulative piece of shit. So when he calls on me to defend him, what the fuck am I meant to do? I don't trust you, and I'm glad I didn't trust you, because in your video defending yourself, you used a video that takes context from like 3 different places and combines them to make it seem like someone is coordinating an attack on you.
Love made a good point. You said, is this every comment? I believe this is a live feed of the chat. This isn't edited.
What about the top right? I thought these were
No, it's
selected.
this, I think when you full screen it. No, this,
So it is edited. Sorry, Ethan is just wrong about that. It is edited to compile the worst looking messages, all the messages that even implicate or mention CPS. I believe Denims, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe she maintains usually like 2,000 to 3,000 people live, so this is probably a pretty active chat. And another thing to emphasize, I think that H3 now acknowledges this, but at this time he did not. Let me just see if it's corrected now.
this is an edit. It's a cutout of the full chat. That's just enlarged there.
Oh, really?
Over the screen.
No, that's not correct. That's wrong.
Yeah.
They're different, I think.
Yeah.
It's not timed. It's not timed the same way.
But
it's not correct.
Sounds like based on this clip, you knew that it was bullshit and you just went with it anyway. Ethan Klein uses this very deceptively edited video that is just like doing this smooth scroll to make it seem like that's all of Denim's chat.
Yeah, that was a compilation of any message that basically even leaned lightly toward the idea of invoking CPS, okay? That you could argue without a doubt that that is manipulatively edited, and that Ethan was willfully blind in claiming it was just the enlarged chat.
But that's not what it is. And then when he's called out on it, he
doubles down.
Hides it. He moves his window over the real chat.
Also, this is not a joking matter, by the way. It can be very severe and...
No, Mr. iDubbbz. Watch out. One sec. You could... Let me just... fuck it. Alright, let me just find this shit. Damn it. There's gonna be a moment, man. I hate that we're navigating a landscape where it's like 5-hour long live streams that I have to fucking find the little explicit moments in, but man, we're doing it anyway, so I might as well shut the fuck up and find it. But I do think that when this was presented, okay, on the podcast, that they did clarify, because I did look into it a little bit. My God, why is it that I'm fucking more capable of looking into things than every creator with millions of dollars and millions of subscribers combined, bro? But anyway, you know, whatever. Fuck. But anyway. God, what a fucking wasteland. Fucking wasteland. Anyway, here, let's see.
PNGs he directly downloads or some.
Let me try and find this fucking Denims thing. Yeesh. Oh, here it is. Okay, we got it. We got it.
iDubbbz.
Hey, watch.
I don't think anyone deserves that. Honestly,
it's like Drew.
Also, this is...
So here they're pulling up the edited segment that is in H3's main channel video, okay? During the reaction to iDubbbz' initial content cop to show, hey iDubbbz, you didn't mention the fucking CPS stuff. So here we go.
Old Mondays. Now we have shit Saturdays.
Also, this is not a joking matter, by the way. It can be very severe and deadly to small children.
Right. So the iDubbbz argument is that right here, while showing it as a response to iDubbbz' video, Ethan conveniently places his camera over the actual live chat, okay? This is the actual live chat that is not this. This is a compilation of messages that are kind of leaning toward CPS, invoking CPS, okay? So here Ethan covers it, and let's see for our own eyes whether Ethan basically, just allows this to happen without clarifying that this is a compilation and that the live chat is covered here.
I mean, much like many other illnesses,
Reading the chat, co-signing
it's very,
it.
very, very dangerous when infants
Pretending to have some medical knowledge.
get the same sicknesses that adults get. There are lots of things that you can get as an adult.
You're actually so stupid.
Not an ounce
That's
of pushback of saying, hold on, guys, maybe you're being
you know, maybe you're being a little ridiculous.
She encourages it. And she's saying that, oh, wow, babies can't get the same diseases as adults. It's like, you are obviously childless. And as I said in the content nuke, will clearly remain that way because...
He didn't say it in the content nuke. He said it in the CPS video on his main channel.
I don't think you'd be a good girlfriend or wife just because you're very mean.
Okay. A little speculative.
Okay. I wouldn't want to be with someone this mean, frankly. And so that's the reason why I think she'll be childless.
Okay, you don't need to fucking expand on that, bro.
But that's just my opinion. Good luck out there.
You're totally fine. You'll be A-okay. No problem. A child, a small infant that has no immune system, shouldn't be catching anything.
You literally just explained why infants catch everything. Should I go back? Or are you too... She's actually so dumb. She doesn't even know the words that are coming out of her mouth. And this isn't even the first time she's like... She's perpetually self-owning herself.
That has no immune system, shouldn't be catching anything.
Yo, who just bonked my head? What's good? What's good, brother? I got bonked? Or was that... Wait, that was a soundbite in H3's thing. Yo, H3, they stealing sound bites from me now. Zach's the sound guy? Is that right? I don't fucking know. But yeah, shout out to that guy, man. Poopy Ethan Klein, yeah.
Baby who has no immune system. What is the immune system for? To stop diseases and infections, to battle them, rather to fight them. And what happens if you don't have an immune system? You get sick more.
Yeah.
I learned that in medical school, which is apparently some deep medical knowledge that she does not have access to.
No wonder his house is covered in dog shit, and his neglected children raised by nannies have
contracted
parasites previously unknown to science from the feces. I wonder why he skipped over all of this, because everything that he said, everything that I said in this story, which by the way was apparently compiled by his crew, playing...
No wonder this motherfucker is always sick. Yeah, it all makes sense now. It all makes sense now.
I have 3 kids under the age of 5. Again, child.
Okay, so I will say, so far they haven't acknowledged it. I do think that they will acknowledge it at the end of this clip. Okay, I'm basically just auditing Mr. iDubbbz right now. Let's see if this critique will hold water. I do think I remember looking into this, and at some point Ethan and Neela will clarify basically that this is not the live chat. Okay, this is not the live chat. This is a compilation. The live chat is currently covered by Ethan.
Childless, like literally so childless. Like...
I mean, they also like to include your Tourette's in it. And when you had the tick of sniffing, they were acting like you're either sick or on drugs.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Whatever. I do remember we were watching the debate. Mr. Klein did mock Hassan's stuttering. So let's just face this head on.
They're all fans. They're all like former fans. Like they know I have tics, and then like all of a sudden, when I'm a bad guy, they have no problem being ableist and pretending like I'm on cocaine, which is something perpetually put.
Cocaine.
And even Ian in his video has a moment where he explicitly cuts in a cough or a tick or something. Like it's cut. Like he inserted it intentionally to try to create some atmosphere about me.
Yeah. It makes sense why he doesn't care about Palestinian children when he is neglecting his own. How is this happening? How is it happening?
I don't know.
How is this happening?
Well, it's not.
What a despicable human being. I mean, talk about being way over the line, being directly linked to the CPS coming to my house, being unapologetic, being cruel and nasty. And then for Ian to be like, actually, I agree with everything she said and I have no criticism. In fact, I don't even think the context is important, is cowardice on a level that I have maybe never seen on YouTube. He's this guy who's like, I'm doing content cap. I talk about everything and I take
content cap.
Everything head on and I debunk thoroughly. It's like, you threw this video together clearly. It's just, bro, I don't know. It's so bad. It's just so bad. Oh, hold on one sec. I got it.
Okay, so far yet to mention it.
I got
Let's
this.
see. We'll give it like 2 more minutes. If they don't mention it within 2 more minutes, I would say iDubbbz's critique is legit.
Let's see what's in the chat.
That's it.
Okay.
Excuse me. Had to take a call. Anyway, where were we?
Well,
Oh, yes, my friend has passed away. So, yeah, I mean, important context, right?
Yes.
A little bit.
Whew.
You're friends with him, and you don't have to say anything, but like, what a fucking piece of shit. What a bad friend to put you in that position just for some fucking clout. It gets people angry at you, like, oh, how can she be friends with him? Which is total bullshit.
Now, I want to put forth that I really don't think if Adam McIntyre was doing a stream accusing me of neglecting and abusing my children to the point where CPS needs to be called, and she was chatting with him, I don't think she would ever do that. And if she did, I certainly would have a problem with that. Clearly, you can't see the difference, because that's what I'm mad about. Your friend Denims, who you are in her chat co-signing her, is doing this, which I just showed.
Yeah.
Olivia is friends with someone who's just talking shit. That's not something that, I'm not going to fucking judge her for something like that, okay? What your friends are doing is significantly, and it's so much worse that even comparing it, I can't believe that you actually are doing this in good faith, or if you're actually just so got punched in the head too many times by now.
Also, the fact that he went out of his way to include the crew, and he says with his own mouth, why does Olivia get a pass? Like, so you are choosing to go after the crew when you certainly could just not do that and focus on Ethan.
She's not getting a pass. She didn't do what you did.
Also, you were taking me out of a scary public conversation, and obviously I felt a specific way about the things that he was saying, and you gave me the option to talk to you about it, not in front of everybody, which I was very grateful for.
Of course, I got you always. And the thing is, like, it was a response to some people. There was some grumbling of people being like, why is Olivia friends with Adam? And I wanted to address that. So, like, this characterization that me...
Okay. Fuck it. I think this is a legit critique from iDubbbz. I don't know where I saw him mentioning that, but seems like at a crucial point when that needed to be mentioned, he actually did just cover the live chat and made it seem like that was the entirety of Denim's chat, which... We'll see what iDubbbz has to say about that.
Deadly to what it is. And then when he's called out on it, he hides it. He moves his window over the real chat.
Also, this is not a joking matter, by the way. It can be very severe and deadly to small children. I mean, much like many other illnesses.
Reading the chat, co-signing
it's very,
it.
very, very dangerous.
Now pay attention to
he doesn't
her
actually
chat.
Have a housekeeper anymore, or perhaps he lost his extra housekeeper. So now the house is just like covered in dog shit. And he has kids, and his kids like...
Why does it have to be anyone else's fault but your own? Take some
Wait up. So iDubbbz just shows a second moment where they bring it up. I want to see where the fuck this is, man. Because maybe they'll mention it. Fuck. God, man, navigating these fucking podcasts. I mean, I'm streaming right now, so I'm no one to talk, man. I should probably just stop streaming and fucking make edited videos, alright? Yeah. Fuck's sake. Unfortunately, that is not what I'm doing right now. Let me see. Fuck, man, I don't know where else they cover it, okay? So, we'll see. We'll take iDubbbz take here. We'll see.
fucking responsibility. It's just...
The house is just like covered in dog shit. And he has kids, and his kids like...
Why does it have to be anyone else's fault but your own? Take some fucking responsibility. It's just so bizarre that Ethan would expect Anise and I to make a statement when Denims herself already made a statement about it and said that she does not condone calling CPS.
So we're talking about CPS. 1, I don't condone. 2, I've never condoned it, and you will not be able to find a clip of me saying, yes, we should do this, because it doesn't exist. I've literally given Ethan Klein credit on multiple times or multiple instances, and I will do it again right now, for not showing photos of his kids.
Part of my criticisms of Ethan initially was the openness. I think it's a problem that you are that open, Ethan.
Well, you know I'm very open about everything. As part of how I wanted to conduct myself and how I wanted to relate to the audience is to be open
as possible about every fucking thing in my life.
What a horrible idea, my god.
It is not strictly...
This is a fucking Destiny talking point, bro. As in, I've heard Destiny say similar, as though that fucking is in any way like a good idea or noble even.
a benefit to be as open as possible on your podcast.
Ethan was just sharing his thoughts. What we were thinking, we were speculating.
Sonny's
No, yeah, he does state it as a fact. Again, you can interpret it as him joking for like a reaction, but he does say it definitively on the podcast episode. That's just true.
Speculating.
Sonny's crawling around. He's putting everything in his mouth. He's at that age. He has giardia.
We were speculating.
Oh, and now Hila has giardia.
Shut.
Be open as possible about every fucking thing in my life.
Yeah, really? How many siblings do you have? I don't.
Oh, interesting. Interesting. He brought it back to Burr. He brought it back to Burr. And I know exactly what this is because I fucking made a video about this like 6.5 years ago. Hey, Mr. iDubbbz, what's good, bro? God bless. Mr. Burr, in this instance, Ethan is trying to kind of ask questions about Mr. Burr's family, and Mr. Burr is basically like, I believe the question specifically is like, he's asking about Bill Burr's siblings, okay? Trying to get into a little bit of the upbringing, whatever, trying to build rapport. And Mr. Burr is like, bro, I don't want to fucking talk about my family right now, okay? There's crazy people online. Be careful.
Oh, no, dude. The internet's too fucking weird to give out all that information.
Oh, you don't even want to say how many because you're afraid that it will
Yeah, by all means,
compromise
keep
your
talking
privacy.
about it.
On top of Ethan,
That's so wild. iDubbbz's editing is so fucking schizo because he doesn't really contextualize that in any way. I just provided you the context of what that is. But yes, it's basically just Bill Burr drawing a line being like, yeah, I'm not fucking talking about my family to a random on the internet. So the implication from iDubbbz is like, hey, take some fucking advice, buddy. Mr. Burr might have some good advice for you.
characterizing me and my wife as anti-Semitic, he also takes a dig at my tattoos.
Bro, you literally look like a fucking free tattoo pack that you get for 25 cents from a windy thing, bro. Like literally my kids have cooler fucking tattoos from Chuck E. Cheese. Bro looks like he just went to the menu and was like, I'll take that one.
I know that H3 like kind of walked this back talking about the tattoos, and he acknowledged that I think he said he also has fucked up tattoos or something like that. But you know, he still said this, so let's see.
That one, and that one.
I have quite a few options here. I can show your tattoos in all of their glory.
Whoa, I've not seen these. What the fuck? On my way to office, see you there. Are these real? The fuck are these? What? Blood. What? What are those? Huh. I'm actually genuinely curious what the mentality was for these. Interesting.
Or I can show that your tattoo made it to the top of awful taste but great
Interesting. Awful taste, but
execution.
But great execution. Dude got this tattoo to surprise his wife. She has no idea what's coming. The quote and the font are the icing on the cake. The greatest thing a man can do for his children is to love their mother. Yeah, I'm not going to comment on the tattoo, man. I'm not really interested in this type of shit, to be frank.
Subreddit, which is not a good thing. I mean, it might be a good thing for the artist that you work.
Awful taste but great execution for everything that displays quality craftsmanship in the least elegant way possible. All things gaudy, tacky, and overdone.
Work with, because that means that they did a good job from a technical standpoint, but it's sort of a failure in every other aspect, particularly the decision-making aspect. If you
Interesting. So iDubbbz overtly taking shots at his new tattoo of his wife that is on his arm, and yeah, no acknowledgement, I guess, that H3 kind of lightly walked that back. He still said it though, so you know he didn't butt in that. So we'll see what the reaction to that is.
You want to go tattoo for tattoo, Ethan? We can do that. You want to keep it to other things? We can. I'll give you that option. Ethan also talks about the potential CTE that I might have after.
Yeah, I knew this would come up. Interesting. Yeah, Ethan does get very offended when people mention his tics, but he is more than happy to poke at people in whatever way. Even if he often walks it back, you know, your words have meaning. They register. So let's see.
after boxing.
Yes.
Ethan, your whole system is scrambled.
No, your brain is scrambled from getting punched in the face too many times because you don't understand the situation. Some people are saying the CTE is starting to take effect, I guess. That would be comforting if there was some explanation, at least.
Any amount of CTE that I may have endured after doing 2 boxing matches, I'm going to say is preferred over having to share the load of doing 50 jumping jacks with my wife.
Yeah, what if we we'll both do 25 at once?
25 each? Or
Oh my goodness.
Great form by
Yeah,
both.
really nice. They must work out.
Also, why are you talking
What the fuck is that? Okay. So this is just kind of like iDubbbz fucking with him.
about CTE at all? Like, you've continually illustrated that you can't keep track of anything.
iDubbbz is like, bro, I might have CTE, but you got dementia. You got fucking brain problems too, bro. We're 2 senior citizens rolling around in the mud together in the old folks factory, bro. Let's take it down a peg here. Let's wrestle in the dirt.
Came up because they were talking about it on their fucking podcast. By the way, they're the ones that like started this conversation by talking about it on the podcast. Be like, hey, I'm not getting involved.
I think that was their response after.
Right, playing this clip again, basically of Ethan having to be corrected that Ethan was the first person to make this, confrontation public.
You guys initially called them out.
He can't even keep straight who attacked who first. He thinks that our podcast where we're expressing sympathy for him and Hila was the impetus for him talking shit about us. I much prefer boxing-induced CTE than harassment-induced CTE.
iDubbbz ain't looking to make any friends, my friend. Holy fucking shit. The response from Ethan for this will basically be, bro, you serious? You just screenshotted me in the middle of a tick to make me look mentally fucking ill.
Ethan acts like we're such great friends and that like he shared such intimate moments with me.
Oh man, I knew this was coming. I fucking knew it. Ethan's been calling him his best friend, good friend of many years, etc., etc. Probably gonna play those clips. I'm sure iDubbbz is basically gonna say, bro, we have literally only hung out for fucking content. That's probably what's about to come.
But it's all horseshit. He's lying. Like, the whole thing is a fucking lie. He's manipulating his audience. We did not have a close relationship.
You
guys were buddies for a long time.
He texted me like one time, like, hey, dude, we should talk this out. And I was like, I don't feel like having this conversation right now. That's it. So Ian kept trying to get me on the phone or text with me. And I told him, dude, honestly, I don't feel like having this conversation right now.
Okay.
Fair, right? I just didn't want to do it. Okay?
Just in that particular moment,
and then
or like at all?
Well, it turns out I didn't want to talk to him at all.
Okay.
If the relationship was that close, you would have talked to me on the phone. You wouldn't have shit-talked me. You would be curious where my brain was at and where...
Yeah, look, I agree with this, bro. Like, to an extent here, like, if they get reached out to privately and they're like, yo, you should be disavowing this person publicly. If iDubbbz is then like, okay, let's fucking like have a call real quick. Can we call, right? Can we call and I can kind of explain where my head's at? If that gets refused and then Ethan turns it into a public fucking feud, there's some fucking social contracts being kind of broken or abused there. Like there is, I definitely understand why iDubbbz would be annoyed that it's like, I literally just wanted to fucking have a call with you to hash this out a little bit to see, so you could see where my head's at, where yours is, whatever. And instead of that, it's like, I don't want to talk to you unless you do this thing for me. And then when they don't, to shit talk them publicly online. Let's be clear, right? This is something that should be swallowed as a pill. In talking about that on air, okay, understood that it is within the context of CPS allegedly being called on them, right? And that basically they are in the heat of the moment in ways you could say, like they're kind of disoriented and pissed off, whatever. The words still have weight, and they had to have understood, at least if they gave it even a second fucking thought, which it seems like they did, because it was, a communication that had been occurring for at least, it seems like, a few days, a thing that had been bubbling up for a few days. They knew that by calling them out publicly, that this could and did end with, a lot of commentary channels basically taking the opportunity to bonk iDubbbz and Anissa on the head, to basically kind of create another wave of reasons for people to milk iDubbbz, or just criticize him if they legitimately believe it's worthy of criticism. But yes, what followed was a you know, a wave of people publicly bashing them effectively for, you know, being bad friends effectively, right? So, yeah, there's not nothing here. What iDubbbz is saying is not totally incoherent, but we'll see, you know, of course, we'll see what the counters are, but, you know.
Where I was coming from. There's this moment in the content cop where I'm trying to give an example of the cycle of harassment. Have you ever been in a comment section and found someone to argue with? It doesn't stop. It can literally go on forever if you don't want to touch grass.
I mean, yeah, this was kind of... Okay, what does that have to do with me?
I don't know.
Mr. Klein. This is something I've been saying too. It's like, yes, there's an element here of feeding the fucking beast, of feeding the trolls, of playing into it, of amplifying the fucking crescendo of harassment that's occurring on multiple frequencies. And it's not, does not make fucking harassment justified or justifiable or whatever, right? But there is a two-way street. I think that's kind of the crux of what I was about to explain. And there's coherence to that. There just is. Takes two to tango.
Are you okay?
Ethan and Hila act like they have no idea what I'm talking about here. So, I mean, maybe they don't. It's a very obvious and easy to digest point. That's why I made it that way. I'm going to explain it here so everyone on the internet understands. When you have a podcast where you are constantly emotionally dumping and saying things just off the top of your head, and you're attacking other people randomly, maybe from your perspective it's not attacking. Maybe you're just commenting on someone else's situation.
He's got to be one of the most visually repulsive people. FaZe Banks, like, in my opinion, he's somewhat repulsive to look at.
And be
pedophile, pirate.
Yeah. Look, this is a legitimate critique so far.
Software was like weird about it. It's like, look at my old voice, it's so lame. What an obnoxious loser. She goes, I can't believe these people are so obnoxious.
H3's a snarker, okay, in his own right. That's kind of what is being illustrated here. It is just true. I mean, anybody who has a real intimate awareness in any way understands that, especially in the time that we are in and the last few months and whatever, like H3 snarks about other people. Like, that's a known thing, okay?
And he looks like an idiot who's obsessed with me, dude.
But what happens when other people comment on your situation? It doesn't feel too good, does it?
But he's like, no, actually, Ethan, the fucking Jew bag. Fuck this Jew bag Zionist baby killer, guys, right?
I don't know if that's what the video is.
That is the back and forth I'm describing. You might have thought, we were just saying that Ian and Anissa are bad friends. Well, guess what? We didn't take it that way.
Oh, I see. He's cutting back to... Because Ethan basically just is, I guess there's certain framings where it's like, we were literally just calling you out for being bad friends. And so iDubbbz is like, actually, this is what you were calling us out for.
POV is like, fuck everybody, and I don't want to hear any excuses. You're not my friend, and you never were, and you never will be. You never will be.
What we took it as is Ethan and Hila are shit-talking us. They just implied that we are okay with people using CPS as harassment.
They just implied that we are okay with people using CPS as harassment. Right. I guess that's true.
And now all of their fans are brigading us. So...
Yeah, I'm sure that did happen.
So, I am going to respond in kind and make a content cop. So...
Right. Which is an attack. It is a counterattack, which iDubbbz owns in this video.
Yes, that is what the cycle of harassment looks like.
Okay, what does that have to do with me?
I don't know.
How about you fucking Nazis? How about that?
Right.
That.
You might think that all of the harassment you're getting has everything to do with your politics and your idea of Israel-Palestine, but a lot of my gripes were centered around you dragging me into your shit. You know, you knew that you were going through a lot, and you were saying, I'm hurting, I'm now going to make them hurt.
Yeah, look, here's the fact, here's just an absolute, undeniable, fucking indisputable, in my opinion. It is my opinion. Fact, okay? Ethan Klein is a very deeply resentful person. You can think that there are justifications for that resentment. I would understand you thinking that, but it is a pattern of fucking behavior that even I observed, again, 6.5 years ago. He does have a very bitter kind of disposition toward him. Back then, Ethan even apologized famously, okay, in response to my video, for being someone who is too cynical, and he is a very cynical person, all right? And in recent times, even I acknowledged it during the content nuke, that he is expressing incredibly poisonous levels of resentment. And again, you can think it's justified, but that is what it is. I am somebody who's gone on many diatribes about my thoughts on what resentment is, what it means, how it manifests. And the biggest thing that I emphasize when I talk about resentment is not that you shouldn't be resentful. And it's not that you should never harness your resentment or to act resentfully to anybody. It's that you need to be fucking aware that you are acting resentfully. When you choose to take a step, when you choose to act on your resentment, to manifest something through the lens of your resentment, you should be aware that that is what you are doing. Because if you take on this veil of legitimacy, thinking, I'm actually just retaliating and doing what I believe is right and just and pure, if you cope yourself into not believing that you are actually just acting out of resentment, out of a deep hatred, out of a kind of spite or whatever, you can convince yourself that you are the noble one, which Ethan has definitely done in certain contexts, and that basically you can easily legitimize, in some cases, harassing people, and in other cases, doing real damage to people, their psyches, even potentially, their physical health, right? And so, yeah, the big thing that I emphasize with resentment is you need to be fucking aware of it. I do think there was a bit of resentment that iDubbbz was kind of coping about in his first content cop, but H3, this is a very real critique. He definitely harnesses his resentment and frames it as though he is, the I guess you could say, morally correct or pure one, whatever. It is something that is poisonous. I have gone, I have a pretty, well-known within my community video about not wanting to become a bitter old man, okay? This is something that I have taken a lot of fucking precautions, taken a lot of, honestly, time and, thought to come to the conclusion of, but a big part of how I plan to avoid becoming a bitter old man, someone who has contempt for others in the world and whatever, is to basically maintain an awareness of when I act resentfully and when I act, in a way that is stripped of resentment, if that makes sense, right? So, like, this is not me saying you can never act resentfully. It's just that if you do, you should be aware of it. And this is a thing that I have, in the original H3 video that I made, okay, I have explained my pathology in relation to this. I'll play it for you guys just while we're chilling here. Let me just quickly read chat. What's up? We got 200 people chilling with me. What's good? Thanks to everybody who's chilling with me. God bless. You should join the Discord, okay? It's in the pinned chat message. If you like these streams, you're chilling with me, you feel like I'm adding something to this, please donate to the Stream Elements link too. There's that, okay? The Stream Elements link basically just makes it so I get 100% and you get TTS. But yeah, let me just show you real quick something interesting, I guess I could say. One moment, please. But yes, this is something I have identified in past videos. One moment. I think a lot about resentment, man. It is something that occupies my mind quite a bit. Again, because I host a lot of resentment, and I certainly have in the past, and because, I read Crime and Punishment, and that gave me a new lens for interpreting resentment, and because I have made hit pieces in my life, and that, let me tell you, has colored my interpretation of resentment quite a bit. But here's me further expanding on it. One sec. Made and the crime is committed. Of the video, confronting it, and to for here seeing it through, and I made that decision, and I guess now finally retroactively I'm being punished for it. So whatever. In the whole first session, I'm basically presenting myself as a bad guy, basically getting ready to commit a crime. A strong inspiration for this was the book Crime and Punishment, which you can see I'm reading here. This first session was meant to simulate the crime portion of this book, And then the second session, which I just recently released, is meant to simulate the punishment aspect, where I pay for my crime. You know, that was the dichotomy that I wanted to explore. And at the end, when I finish my criticisms, you can see that I've been staring at a mirror the whole time. And that's just kind of showing that I see reflections of my criticisms in my own, you know, day-to-day life, right? Like, it's stuff that can be applied to me in certain situations. And I'm confronting it, literally in front of the viewer. And I'm projecting it onto Ethan, I guess, who's kind of the subject of me just my anger and frustration. And then the ending skit was mainly just to provide catharsis to the viewer, because all this tension had been building up for an hour and a half. I wanted it to pay off, kinda. And it's also important because it's the actual crime portion of the video. It's when the darkness manifests and the decision is made to kind of commit the crime. You know what I mean? Like, the damage is done. Decision is made and the crime is committed. In this case, murder. Just as it was in the book. I don't like having to explain myself. I'd prefer to just leave it up for interpretation, but since YouTube is clearly interpreted as me just being a madman, I'd at least like to, you know, talk about it since nobody can view it now. In this situation, that was my idea. The thumbnail was inspired by the thumbnail for the Leafy Content Cop, which makes it slightly poetic that both were taken down on the same day. Alright, now I also want to show you, okay, so this is me thinking about the concept of resentment. 6.5 years ago in the first Death of H3H3 video, okay, and then 5 years ago, after the Death of H3 video was taken down, and I'm basically just kind of talking about the reasons I made it, and then here's me in the Sneeko video, okay, a visual representation of me trying to become more aware of my resentment and catching myself, basically. Here. Some people thought this was just me soying out. Those people are, they're not on the same wave as me, I don't think, but yeah. This entire rant is me basically building toward a peak of resentment, effectively, and then reflecting on it, trying to add the self-aware component again. The nudity.
Everyone starts to be sexually liberated. That is the destruction of a society in real time. It happened in Rome when they started doing all the same-sex stuff.
I'm gonna project my delusional reality onto everybody else because I'm confident.
Yeah, if anybody ever says this to you, feel free to call them a fucking idiot to their face. Alright, this is a lame-brained little lie devised by idiots like this who want to push an agenda. There's absolutely zero correlation between gayness and the fall of Rome. Anybody saying otherwise should probably not be taken seriously ever. Allow me to give you a quick history lesson. Being gay was never normalized among the plebeians of Rome, and among the leadership it was practiced since the empire's inception, with some of the most highly regarded emperors being openly gay. Sneeko promotes all these ideas so that he can bring up religion as the cure to a corrupt society. He'll say those things not knowing that the Roman Empire actually converted to Christianity 200 years before the Western Empire's collapse. Historically speaking, on a mass scale, religion can't cure a collapsing society. It's a tool used to control the masses. It can pacify and possess, act as an opium or an inspiration, but it's never an antidote to a society with a rotten foundation, one built on the backs of millions of slaves that have no loyalty to the empire, where they relied on military expansion to maintain the lavish lifestyle of the elites, leading them to spread their resources too thin, where those elites' greed brought brutal instability and corruption among the leadership, with those in charge being chosen on the basis of opportunism and inheritance.
I was an atheist for a long time, and I remember when the gay marriage thing came up, and I'm like, this should be good when you get married. And then all the religious people were like, no, this is, God warned us about this. They said it in the Bible. They were like, hold up signs, pray for Jesus, Jesus. They were right. Look at the slippery slope that they were warning us about. It happened. It went too far, and it started because we started allowing gay marriage.
Religion didn't save the empire, and you scapegoating gays or Jews and falling for the distraction sure as hell won't save yours. Take your hate and shove it up your fucking ass, you piece of garbage, rotten little weasel puppet dumb.
He who fights with monsters should see to it that he himself does not become a monster. And if you gaze long into an abyss, the abyss also gazes into you.
Who's there? Who the fuck's there? Who are you?
Great question.
I guess you could call me your room wallmate. We're wallmates. I'm living inside your wall.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, Look, I don't give a fuck. Look, I don't care, okay? Please, just pay me rent.
Oh, yeah, I see. You don't even care about getting to know me, eh? You just want my money. It's all about money and status for you, isn't it?
Read the room, bro. I don't want to deal with you.
Really, dude? You think I'm the problem? I've been living in your walls peacefully, minding my own business for 4 months. You're the one that's been rambling for 40 minutes straight about some e-celeb everyone forgot about a couple months ago. Look, I can't afford rent right now, but I actually just invested in a course. And I think that if you give me a little bit of time...
yeah, just, you know what? Forget I asked, okay?
Here, take this.
He's cute. What's his name?
His name is Hubert. Oh, by the way.
What?
All that stuff you're saying seems really negative. Like, you're using a bunch of people that you don't like on the internet to justify your anger, and then, you know, channeling that anger towards just tearing them down. It might resonate with immature, angry people who are happy that you're angry at the same person that they're angry at. But there's no way to grow when your livelihood depends on having something to hate. Maybe you should try looking inwards before you post all that angry stuff online. Seems kind of unhealthy.
You know? You might have a point.
Hey! You gonna piss or what?
Yeah, anyway. So, there's a little bit of my fucking reflection. I don't know if that lost you guys or whatever, but yeah, I just wanted to show I've thought a lot about resentment, my friends. Quite a bit. He has a point, man. He has a point. Oscar worthy. Yes. You guys are so goofy. I'm saying that his point is dumb because he's engaging in the same behavior. Who's engaging in the same behavior? iDubbbz? You could argue that. Giving Sneeko attention isn't worth it in my opinion, but that was a good vid. Thanks, bro. Okay, whatever. You guys are bickering together. That's fine. I'm gonna continue with this fucking video. Let us continue. Super Mario Smash Brothers. Continue? Alright.
Because they're not putting their head on the chopping block. Fuck you, you're a piece of shit. But a lot of my gripes were centered around you dragging me into your shit. You know, you knew that you were going through a lot and you were saying, I'm hurting, I'm now going to make them hurt because they're not putting their head on the chopping block. Fuck you, you're a piece of shit. I'm sure there's anti-Semitic people that are attacking you guys, but they're not me, they're not Anissa. It's not Hassan, it's not all of these other creators that you're attacking. You're not the biggest victim on the internet, Ethan. Other people can experience a horrible fucking time. And guess what?
Dude, I can't fuck with you, man. The energy he's bringing, I like. It's interesting. It's interesting. This is an interesting, there's not nothing here, man.
They're not getting this other benefit, which is 26,000 viewers. You're getting a lot of money and a lot of content, a lot of things that you care about from these beefs and from this harassment. There are a lot of people that you've just bullied and they have nothing to gain out of it.
Yeah, facts. I mean, that's facts. That's totally true. Totally true. Yeah.
Rogan isn't making a bag from this. She's not getting content out of this. You're attacking her in relentless...
Oh, shit. Oh, Frogan defense. I mean, I'm not here for the Frogan defense, to be totally fucking frank.
...ways and endorsing so much worse harassment than what even you send her way.
The shit he said and posted about Frogan over the past years is like insanely nasty shit.
Yeah.
Worse than anyone I've seen. If this is true, absolutely mind-blowing, insane shit.
Hold on. It's not worse than anything you've seen. How could it be worse than anything you've seen?
Literally, no. I guess
he was
not.
very nasty. Well, I'm just saying, people like fucking want to like get lay down and fucking like.
I'm talking about specifically against Frogan.
But like he called her fat, right, and ugly, which is horrifically mean. I get called a fucking baby killer.
I was talking specifically about
That's way
Frogan.
worse than.
I say making it about himself when they're trying to have like a moment of acknowledgement of one of, I guess, their enemies receiving a ton of shit and harassment.
Being called fat and ugly, in my opinion.
Also, on top of Ethan and Neela
iDubbbz doesn't elucidate the point that much, really.
constantly victimizing themselves,
Oh, victimizing themselves, okay.
I did
which they do. That's true.
notice that as soon as we didn't immediately jump to Ethan and Neela's defense, Ethan took that to heart and he started to make that his employees' problems. Instead of just, sucking it up and taking it on himself, he decided to imply that Lena is going to have a problem with that.
A lot of this has ramifications for the crew. The way that they have it set up is basically, if Lena were to drop out, she would lose, she would have to pay back $25.
Interesting. This was before the content cop. What? Oh, right. My bad. I forgot for a moment. Yes, because Ethan did start a public beef with with iDubbbz and Anissa, which I guess started mainly as a private beef, effectively, because iDubbbz and Anissa would not call out Froggy Tonic or Denims. And so I see before the content cop, Ethan, the concept of Lena pulling out in solidarity with H3 was on the table. Let's see what's being said again with that context.
Decided to imply that Lena is going to have a problem with that.
A lot of this has ramifications for the crew. The way that they have it set up is basically, if Lena were to drop out, she would lose, she would have to pay back $25,000 or something insane. And besides that, which I told her I would cover if she wanted to drop out, she's been working really hard. And just because I'm having an issue with what's going on here.
You bringing up Lena dropping out of the fight was you publicly showing to your fans, I don't approve of this. You were saying this shit before the content cop even came out.
Which I...
Circumstantial support of that.
I told her I would cover if she wanted to drop out.
But now you are saying that you didn't have a problem with any of it until I made the video.
I was totally on board until the organizer put out a video calling me a psychopath for harassing his friend.
Weaker point by iDubbbz.
Obviously, Ethan and Neela will victimize themselves every chance they get. But when they have the chance to victimize someone else who's on their crew, they'll also do that.
You already forced Lena into this horrible situation. And again, you forced this situation on her.
Why would I do such a thing to Lena? Dude, you have as much agency as I do. You didn't have to badmouth me on your podcast. That was a choice that you made.
Third time's the charm, baby.
So go fuck yourself.
I agree. My good fucking friends who I stood by after all these fucking years can't find a spine to speak up.
Oh, the organizers of this event are not jumping to my defense? All right, well, maybe instead of shit-talking them, maybe I should zip it.
So go fuck yourself.
I agree. You already forced Lena into this horrible situation. And again, you forced this situation on her. By the way, iDubbbz, Lena's fucking having a panic attack.
So go fuck yourself.
I agree.
But you're just lobbing it to me and Anissa. I'm lobbing it back to you. You're the one who brought it up. If you lob it back to me and you say, well, I didn't have your back publicly. Well, fuck you. I'm going to lob it back and say, you're being irresponsible on your podcast and you're not taking any accountability for the shit you're putting out online. I think that's going to do it for this video. There's a lot more that I can share, but I'll save that for the future.
Interesting. Really?
Fuck's sake.
It makes me want to puke, the idea that we're just going to keep doing these fucking back and forths. There's just going to be another fucking content cop, another fucking content deputy, another 14 fucking H3 podcasts. This sucks. I fucking hate this fucking... Go back to the days of inciting video, response. It's over. Fucking dickheads, man. Sorry. That's me, that's just me crashing out, okay? Fucking hell. Whatever.
And in closing, I will reiterate so that, there's no ambiguity about it. Anissa and I are no longer involved in Creator Clash. We're stepping down completely. We hope that the event is a massive success this year. We hope that all of the fighters get what they wanted out of it. I'm sorry that I'm such a fucking nasty person who just wants to roll around in the shit. I'll put the link to Creator Clash down in the description if you want to support them in their mission to get creators to fight and raise money for charity. You can do that down there. I will be doing that on my own, and I hope you guys have a good time. Also, for all the people who touch grass, I want to remind you to click the like button on this video, not so it goes in your algorithm or anything, just specifically so that we can add a counter narrative, or I can get an idea of how much astroturfing is out there, because I know that a lot of these fuckers, they love their dislike button extensions. And I saw that shit and I was like, what the fuck? These are all like fabricated numbers. The like-dislike ratio was like 80-20 on
80-20 on the original content cop is the
my
claim.
video, and then they tried to create a narrative of like, no, people actually hate this content cop, guys. It's actually so much worse. Like, bitch, like, people were more upset with, like, my wife being on OnlyFans. You're not gonna
That's the OnlyFans video. Okay. I don't know. Did you show the screen? Show us the screenshot of the content cop if you're gonna make the claim. Even though this is all literally, I do not give a fuck. People who care too much about this stuff, I don't care. People who care too much about like ratios, it means very little to me, man. Because it's like, yeah, you can be correct and have a fucking dog shit like ratio. You can be standing against a wave and still be correct. It doesn't reflect necessarily the content. It can reflect the content, but it doesn't inherently.
Does this mean you've been pushed so far that we've actually entered the good timeline where you focus on things that are emotionally and spiritually fulfilling and like I'd achieve your goals instead of eating shoes and bugs?
Well, the bugs in the shoes do contribute to my goals, of course. Of course. Those are the peaks of my existence personally, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure that I've escaped the Matrix yet, Lumi. I'm not sure that I've escaped this Matrix yet. I can't lie to you. I wish I could, but I can't, you know? I wish I could, but I can't. I'm not gonna lie to you, Lumi. I think that I yearn for the mines. I yearn for the damn mines. I do think that I have something pathologically. I think that when an iDubbbz says I'm destined to roll around in pig shit with Ethan Klein in the mud, I think that I might be
bad boy.
Someone who
Can you explain iDubbbz/H3/Hassan beef in class of 09 terms?
Okay, so who is the main girl in class of 09? Let me look up. There's Jekka, okay. Class of 09. Okay, so this is the main girl, right? Wait up. So this girl, I'm actually getting energy of iDubbbz in this girl, okay? So this girl's iDubbbz, and H3 basically accosts this girl, and the reaction to accosting her is her literally centering her life around completely just attacking the fuck out of you, like dressing you down in response. That's the iDubbbz content cop, okay? She does not, you know, invoke, like, there's a certain, you could argue, moral or contextual obligations that are failed. In her delivering of that, her goal is mainly to do damage to you, okay? But she is going to succeed in doing so. And then okay, just so that we're all understanding, I am the Crispin of the class because no one gives a fuck, and my presence is not appreciated. Where is he? Crispin. Crispin, where's Crispin at? Oh yeah, Crispin. Interesting. So, yeah, and who's the pedophile? I'm not gonna label anyone that. So this, oh my god, bruh. So this is Destiny. So, what's his name? Oh man, what's his name? Something silly. I don't know. What's his name? Anyway, who cares?
I'm a
This is
bad
this is silly. This is silly.
Also, you should make a video about resentment. Maybe tie in H3 too. After this drama dies down, to stay low-key Lamau.
I might not be the guy to talk to about staying low-key, personally. Here's the thing you need to understand, okay? As far as the Clips channel is concerned, as far as the streams I'm doing are concerned, I definitely put in a lot of work to try and maintain a low GTA star rating, okay? I don't like the idea of people using my fucking streams to attack me or to, you know, do whatever. Obviously, these things happen. I understand the way this fucking shit works, but basically, if I'm going to go on the attack, I'd prefer for it to be in a thought-through main channel video, right? I do view there as a massive difference between, you know, a main channel, something that you've spent time, edited, refined, versus just off-the-cuff live things, right? If someone makes a mistake on a stream, okay, and they don't upload it anywhere, right? It's just like it exists in a VOD or whatever. There might be a different way of navigating that, okay? Of course, it depends what is being revealed. It depends what the argument is, the way that it's used against you, etc. But yeah, there's certainly, you know, let me put it like this. I just understand how streams can be used against people, and I would rather that not happen to me personally, you know? So that's why when I'm streaming, I do try to keep a relatively low profile. $1 billion question, who is Jiren in this drama? Who the hell is Jiren? Goku, you've been around long enough to realize everyone in commentary eventually crashes out and goes into full-blown lolcow territory. It happens to the best of them. Yeah. What we do here is go back. Actually, you know what? Let's not go back. It never helps. Yeah, it never ends well for the soul. Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Thanks, Real Gokunaru, for elucidating my internal struggle. What? Who is this? Oh, Dragon Ball. Oh, okay, I get it. This is my goat. My goat. Look at this. Look at this fella. Dude, literally me. That's literally me, bro. That's how I be out here, keeping my GTA stars low. Just that's my stance, my chosen stance, bro. Hell yeah. Anyway, all right, enough brain rot. My brain's pretty rotten. Let's be fucking expressly clear. My brain is damn rotten, bro.
Dude, again, so
who cares? Who gives a fuck about this guy? I don't. Ian and Anissa tie themselves to charity event to sabotage it, making fighters drop out. Then they drop out after tainting the event, screwing their business partners. And Anissa thinks she's a genius for it. I know you're so desperate to... Oh, okay, whatever.
I'm a bad
Yeah, this Mike from PA guy's a dumbass.
Unrelated, but how was the end of a fable? Just kidding. What book did you movie on to instead? Lol XD.
I'm not going to, the main, I don't even want to tell you what I've been looking into. I don't want to say it publicly. Not for any bad reason, really. It just might reveal, like, where my brain is at. Or, like, I just don't want, you know, I'm saving it for, it'll be made public, but, you know, we can talk privately about that, okay? It's a history book, okay? It's more of a history book that I've been reading. I mentioned it, you know, fuck it. I was reading Benny Morris, okay? But yeah, it'll be, fuck, I'm not gonna talk anymore about it. It's just very exhausting, to be honest with you. It's fucked up, this whole fucking drama. But anyway, let's see.
The internet that fucking Ethan Klein isn't being a piece of shit. Like, so Like, bitch, like, people were more upset with, like, my wife being on OnlyFans. You're not gonna convince the internet that fucking Ethan Klein isn't being a piece of shit.
Man, I like the edge. I can't cap with you. I fucking like the edge. I like the bite that he's bringing to this, okay? There might be some things I don't agree with him on this fucking video. There's definitely, like, I'm not gonna claim this is a great video, but this is definitely a better video than the Content Cop, in my personal opinion, for sure. A lot of what is said here should probably have been basically said in the Content Cop preemptively. It's interesting the way, man, people really do not make, people do not make videos rigorous anymore. They like make a video and then they basically plan to have like a fucking whole plan, like a prolonged response after the fact, clarifying shit, and it is just mud wrestling. It's fucking annoying, man.
Like, sorry guys, it doesn't matter how many dislike extensions you have.
We can free Palestine without being a Nazi, okay? Yeah, fuck you guys too, okay? How about you fucking Nazis? How about that?
It's
Dan reacting to bad faith accusations of anti-Semitism toward Ethan.
Blatantly and obviously fucking disingenuous. This shit blew my fucking mind. Like, this is fucking insane. And like, dangerous. He is going out of his way to slander you as a neo-Nazi. Like, that can get you hurt.
Thank you, Ethan.
Okay, I see. Right, so he's basically like kind of being like, yeah, well, guess what? Maybe think about that in relation to me. So iDubbbz, in response to the whole samurai sword thing, he basically was like, yeah, I didn't think twice about it. It was literally just a sword that was around that we use as a prop, and that's it. So that's his perspective. And looks like he's... Why in your underwear, though?
You are my best friend. You are the rent payer. You are the legend. Thank you, Ethan Klein. You are my best friend.
Well, for better or for worse, iDubbbz is back, baby. Okay, I can't lie. That's funny to me, man. It's so absurd. iDubbbz is back, all right? For better or for damn worse, the boy is back, all right? I don't want to see any of this fucking, this cope that this isn't a content cop, this wasn't a content deputy, that was a content cop, that was a content deputy. It is different. It's not the same. There might be less bite. There might be less rigorous criticism, but I will say that content deputy was better than the content cop, and fuck it. This is the landscape we're operating in. You know, as absurd as it feels, take it or fucking leave it at this point. But yeah. Chat, how are you doing? I'm pretty gassed. I want to see what the sentiment is, I guess. Hopefully you guys don't feel like this is a waste of time. I'm certainly in the headspace of thinking this is a bit of a waste of my life energy, but you know, I chose to do it, so I should shut the fuck up. Yoka laughed. There's still a soul in there under all that Canadian. Yep. Cheers to that. Yep. Maybe because you called him Pudgy last stream, I think. Yes, iDubbbz did that because of me, dude. Everyone watching would probably assume you are sweeping for iDubbbz. Klein. Okay, so all right. So those of you, let's do a poll. But who thinks I'm sweeping for iDubbbz? Okay. Am I sweeping for iDubbbz? Okay. Yes, no, and then we'll add. I don't know. Seems like you're being fair. No, I don't think you are. You're not. You're being objective. I just don't see where this drama is supposed to go. Yeah, in the fucking gutter, dude. It's supposed to go in the damn gutter. I don't think you're sweeping, but you're more charitable than most. Yeah, okay, man. I mean, I'm caught between a rock and a hard place, and all I'm defaulting to is my own opinion. Does that make sense? I am the #1 iDubbbz simp, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to allow him to blind me, okay? I think you just have a lot of Ethan/Destiny viewers, Dreamy. I think I mean, look, I am, again, cemented in the commentary community. I have a lot of overlap with, I had a lot of overlap with Turkey or Tom Dark's audience, right? Obviously, Nick D, our boy, the guy has a lot of overlap with fucking me. Destiny, there's overlap for sure, just again, with the association with Tom. And so, yes, I'm fighting against the fucking wave. And here's the thing, like, I'm ready to shave the viewers who do not think I am trying my best to give my honest opinion. I'm ready for you to fucking leave, you know? Not me shit-talking you, right? But if you don't agree with my coverage, you can stop watching. But I'm not going to cave to that expectation when I think I am approaching this from a very fucking reasonable perspective.
I'm a bad boy.
Lamau, you literally thought Content Cop was a disappointment. What are these people talking about?
Yes, they don't know literally anything about me, okay? People are hysterical. That is true about this beef, this topic. Again, obviously, I'm gonna stop reiterating this, okay? Because I am getting sick of hearing it from myself. But this is draped in the context of Israel-Palestine, and so that's why I have a particular disdain for a lot of the shit that I'm getting flung at me. But like in the sense of, it's like, I don't know. It's a bit of a fucking, how should I put it? Like, I get shit for pointing that out sometimes, right? And it's, you know, it's fine. It's all good. Whatever. I can handle it. It's fine. But I'm just going to keep, you know, navigating as I have been, more or less. Thank you, Anonymous. God bless. God bless. Not hating, the comments seem to sweep a lot for Ethan's hypocritical behavior, which is very recognizable. Yeah, I mean, Dreamy, I agree with you. Like, I don't agree with most of my commenters lately. I've been fighting against my own audience. Yeah. A man who wants to orbit Hassan Piker, is that what you're asking me? Did you think that I want to orbit Hassan Piker, Harvest? Well, you've not been listening very much, my friend, but whatever. I mean, the biggest thing that makes me, in ways, more critical of Ethan than I would be of Hassan, okay, is the litigation, the brutalizing of precedents, okay? Like, dude, come on, this is the fucking commentary community, okay? The guy was backing an adpocalypse, a deplatforming campaign. He's suing his fucking haters. He's suing random Redditors with a DMCA to pressure them into giving details about people. Otherwise, he's going to lead to them having their information exposed publicly. Like, come on. I keep having to repeat myself because people, you know, tune in. I get it. I understand how it goes. But if you actually listen to what I am saying, I think I am very reasonable for not agreeing with Ethan Klein, his behavior, not backing his video, the content nuke. I'll leave it there, okay? Because I don't need to repeat myself. Fuck it. There are those who will listen and those who will not, and that is okay. It's up to me to try and, you know, explain myself, I guess, as best I can.
My main issue with modern iDubbbz, specifically these content cop videos, is that, say what you want about this old shit, but he felt like she focused on the entertainment value and making a good video. Now she says to make sure she's viewed as the mature nice guy.
Yeah, thanks, man. I really hope that iDubbbz chills on this for a bit, but I don't think he will, which sucks. This is funny. Yeah, this guy saying this, I don't think that holds much water, really, personally. Okay, I was going to talk about some other stuff, but I think that for my own mental sanity, I'm probably going to get off now. Alright? Fuck it. Fuck it. Yeah, honestly, I'd rather not see people's takes. Honest to God, I'd rather not see people's takes. I'd rather not, in a lot of cases, I'd rather not see my peers' takes because it's not going to change how I feel, I don't think. And if there's people providing like actual, like debunking certain claims and whatever, obviously that's a value. But yeah, I don't want to be influenced by, other people's perceptions or whatever. As best I can right now, I'm trying to be avoiding that. Sorry, chat. Most of us are idiots. God bless Fergalicious. You're not an idiot. Thank you, bro. Thank you. I appreciate you. Your earlier question, bro, you just first of all, thank you for the money. Okay. You don't need to send money to ask a question, but obviously that'll bring attention to it, but I appreciate it. Your earlier question was really solid, man. I actually do appreciate that. That's something that I probably should have emphasized at an earlier point. Are you going to debate the Oreo finally? Because he doesn't care about the Palestine genocide at all, but it is 100% on Ethan's side no matter what. Well, whatever. If Nick's open to it, sure. If he's open, but yeah, I do think that'd be an interesting conversation for sure. Open to it. Let's enter a wind down period here, okay? Let's chill together real quick. I'm gonna probably be here for another 5 minutes. Hopefully you guys had a good Sunday. Hopefully you're, chilling in whatever way you know how. But yeah, I know for a fact that I am definitely, not a person who is really, how should I say it? I'm not a person who is, that eager to spend my Sunday night right now, talking about other topics. There was some other things that I wanted to watch and engage with, but I think I'll save that for another day. Personally, I don't know. I was mainly, I guess, coming on here to watch that content with Deputy, and so yeah. Okay, I said that I wouldn't go on Twitter, and then I did. Anyway, sorry, let me engage with chat. My bad. I'm really unsure of what to upload on this fucking channel, man.
I feel like I could conquer the world!
What's up?
Hey man, I understand you wanting to be neutral, but at this point I think shit already hit the fan and it's hard to keep that boat steady. But who cares? Ha-oogs.
Thank you, bro. Yo, Anonymous, thank you for the 420. God bless. I'm, look, here's the thing that, I'm not really, neutral is like a very dubious claim because it's like everyone has their fucking biases and these definitely exist within me for sure. I'm trying my best to mitigate my biases, okay, on certain dimensions. But at the same time, anybody who thinks that I am, blindly siding with Hassan is just not listening to what I am saying, okay? I think I have pretty damn legitimate reasons, that I am providing good faith and, to Hassan and criticizing Ethan where it is due, whatever. You already heard me say this, but thank you. Yes, it's like, it is a lot fucking easier to commit to a side, okay? And if only I felt like one side was entirely in the right, all right? But anyway. That's not really even me saying, like, they're equally bad. Okay? But it's basically me saying neither are really sides that I would want to champion, But yeah. You don't have to like Hassan's worldview to agree. Thanks, guy. You explained Hassan's own arguments much better than he did in the debate. Thank you, Ghost Balls. God bless, bro. Hey, Owen, stay tuned. It's more how bad Hassan was, in my opinion. Oh, thanks, Ghost Balls. It wasn't a compliment to me. It was just, okay. Thank you, though. John Smith, yeah. Thanks, Real Gokunarum, for elucidating my thoughts. Yeah. Maybe I should have moderated that debate. That would have been quite a brutal circumstance, and It's funny that people, Smaggle commented that I should be the moderator of the debate, and I appreciated that in a way, because it's like, oh, great, someone who actually doesn't think that I'm just biased against Ethan for no good reason. But I knew that, like, that's not happening. Like, I'm not fucking brain dead. You know, I do have a decent, I'd like to think, decent grapple on reality. Yeah. Yeah. The fuck? Bro, Bad Empanada's fucking beefing with our boy Starkiller, damn. Ugh. That is no good. Fuck. Well, good luck, AB. What a fucking shit drama. I hate it so much. Anyway, whatever. Christ. I literally am back on Twitter. What is wrong with me? The drama is a clusterfuck. Yeah. You were able to articulate it better and give more context, which maybe is unfair to Hassan because he wasn't given the opportunity. Right, yeah. No, yeah, I mean, that's true. Like, that was a very hostile environment that he was put into, I guess. On both sides, to an extent. But, yeah. Lost in the Twitter sauce again. All his gray matter is soup. Thanks. Thank you. You give off Disco Elysium vibes now that I think about it? Yeah, no, I think I do. I think that's accurate. Like, look. Thank you, Ethan Klein. You are the best friend or something. One sec. Fuck was I thinking? Oh shit. Yo, Teddy, what's good? Thank you for the 5 bones. Okay, now all we have to do is for Ian, all we need is for Ian to go full circle and make another content cop on Tana just to defend the running of his event. Teddy, that you're cooking, bro. You're cooking now, man. God bless you. You're pure soul. What a great game. Yeah. He would have been better during the Israel-Palestine discussion if he wasn't worked up by all the preceding bullshit. No, I'm not. I actually don't subscribe to that, to be honest. I think that Hassan, people, I think, really misinterpret a lot, but I do think that Hassan was thrown off initially by the guilty by associations that Ethan was trying to do, but there was a definite period where Hassan felt supremely confident. He was almost, it seemed like, very glad that Ethan had, you know, kind of like tried to smear him in certain ways or whatever. Hassan was definitely had the upper hand for a lot of that fucking debate. In fact, the I think least confident I saw him was again on the point involving the Nakba, which I've talked about at length. Okay, yeah, in this stream, in fact. So yeah. But yeah, I think Hassan got worked up by not expecting to be called out on certain little fuck ups he made. Any political commentators I like to follow? I won't mention them here, but yeah, stay tuned. Stay tuned. Not Hassan, for the record. I know people, you know, love to think that, but no. All right. God bless. Thank you, Lumi. Thank you, Anonymous. Thank you, Phil. Phil, I didn't even read this. My main issue with modern iDubbbz, specifically these Content Cop videos, is that say what you want about his old shit, but I felt he focused on entertainment value and making a good video. Now he has to make sure he's viewed as the mature, nice guy. Yeah, they need more fun. They need more livelihood. You know, entertainment thrown into them for sure. God bless, Phil. I wish you the best, bro. Yeah, thanks Anonymous, Phil, Lumi, and yeah, Isabel as well. And all of you guys in chat, Fergalicious, as well as Peppy. Your name's Peppy, right? Teddy, my bad. And yeah, I am hoping you have a great week ahead of you. I'm sorry if you feel like this was a waste of time, but it is what it is. We're chilling, and wish me luck.